So, welcome to iCast Summon Friends. We're picking back up of the story of our brave heroes. Burke, the fighter hobgoblin battlemaster. Ravenous, the warlock of the great old one tiefling. Lyroon, the monk of the path of mercy elf. Nanto, the glamour bard warforged. And Will, the glory paladin human. Interesting, the only human actually in this party, I just realised.
Yeah, well, what else is new? Stinking human. You wonder why I gotta train every morning.
So where we're picking up, the story so far, if you want to go back and watch them, they're all up on YouTube, but essentially the party recently rescued Will from the despicable Lord Flashheart, who's some kind of deviant, and also got quite a few nefarious plots that have been transpiring. You're starting to unpick some of them. You went there under Duchess Morwen of Daggerford's orders, investigating the disappearance of Will and other people, and actually found out he'd been capturing quite a few people, and it seems like he was brainwashing them, taking payments for some people, giving out payments for some other people. Anyway, you turned up at his mansion with all the guards of Daggerford and the Duchess herself, and there was Cornelius the wizard, with who immediately let loose a fireball from his wand of fireballs. The wand disintegrated, a little chase scene ensued. You took one of your party, Lyroon, dramatically took him out with an elbow punch to the chest that just splattered him. And then when you went to the tavern afterwards and the next day, you found out from when you were meeting up with Duchess Morwen that it seems like his body melted not long after you left. And from what the wizard there, Herbert, was able to tell you, was rather she knew from Herbert, was that he suspects he was a simulacrum, which is essentially a copy, an impersonation of the true Cornelius, which would mean that the real Cornelius presumably is at large somewhere, presumably with the other Flashhearts, and he was just trying to hold you back.
Or the first Cornelius was made of snow. I just like that's how it works. All right, don't be discriminatory.
It's just a snowman.
We don't discriminate against snowmen here.
So last episode. It was largely a shopping episode, I would say, and identification and revelations. So you identified some of the items that you'd accumulated from your raiding of the manor, or Flashheart's manor. Ravenous discovered that when she couldn't get drunk in the tavern, that there was something odd going on. She's since discovered that it was a periapts proof against poison. She also turned out the spare bag she picked up from Lord Flashheart's manor and discovered all kinds of horrible things in there, but also a few helpful potions that you might be able to use in the upcoming arena fight. I believe you immediately handed over a potion of climbing to Lyroon.
I did.
So now both of you can go climbing together.
Oh my god! Yay!
Yeah, that happened in the apothecary. That happened in the apothecary shop. And now I've got art for the apothecary. It's just more or less how I envisage him. It's this sort of slightly withered old man. Interestingly, both my shopkeepers have walking sticks and lean forward. And then you went over to Victoria's Secret, where you met Victoria, and you bought a very special item for your companion, a very expensive, is it a bandolore?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bandolore.
It was.
Yeah.
Bandore? Bandori?
An expensive instrument, which Nanto hasn't had time to attune just yet, but...
Unfortunately. I have not been able to attune to it.
But after the fight, you probably will. And yeah.
Look, if he survives the fight.
Yeah.
No.
If he doesn't just burn up dramatically during. That's right. Metal doesn't burn. Melts.
Up right away.
Just melt.
I get the fanciest toy that we all pooled money for, and then next thing you know, I just melt.
It's just dead.
Boom.
I've seen that before.
Okay. So then, yeah, we're on the busiest day that you'll have in your adventuring careers, most likely. You've got a few different things that you need to be getting on with. So far. There's this arena fight with that big green dragon you saw on the previous slide that you need to do. Ravenous has got a date with a fan as a thank you for a favour that she received.
Yes, she do.
And you need to
Why
meet...
did I do this?
Your sacrifice is recognized.
And you need to meet the Crimson Cleavers contact over at the Guest and Mimic store. And it's currently Harvest Clothes Festival in back and forth. There's all kinds of carny folk over in town. There's loads of stalls up and around. Will, you can see in the art here where she's got the mallet just slapping down. Will dramatically demolished one stand by interacting with one of the carny stands already. So lots of fun to be had. But first of all, there's a dragon to slay, which will bring us neatly to the start of the battle. So yeah, hopefully you're all watching the Syrinscape stream. You can hear lots of snarls.
Nice.
So yeah,
I'm legitimately terrified.
Heck yeah.
so you will,
most of us can reply in turn.
yeah.
Most of us can also do that.
So I'm just going to turn down the roaring a little bit, actually, so I can hear everyone. But yeah, exactly. So you walked out into the arena. Most of you could actually speak Draconic, as it turns out. I think Ravnus might be the only one who can't.
And Nanto.
Oh, and Nanto. Oh, I thought Nanto could.
Nanto could.
No, I'm pretty sure I can.
Okay. So yeah, you walked out into the...
Let me check my whimsy.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah. So you walk down to the arena. There's this
I
hulking
can't wait.
green dragon
I know.
roaring, spitting poisonous fumes up into the air. There's a row of kobolds that came out in front of it and almost formed like a defensive wall before it, and it seemed to be treating it with quite some reverence. We've already rolled initiative. Burke, you're top of the board. What do you do?
Oh, well, in that case, I think I'm going to be... So, first off, just to check, in the middle we have what's pretty much a hole. Is that
Right,
correct?
yeah. Let me add a bit more details. So, yeah, the arena's set up quite differently to how you've seen it before. Will probably would have seen this at various times. It's when they're trying to make things extra spicy and interesting. So there's a few, like, stone blocks with spikes attached to them, some low walls here and there. Right in the center of the arena, there's a pit. That's about 20 feet to a side, 10-foot radius. And at the bottom, you can just hear from where you are. There's just a boop, 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 boop noise. Will, you would notice there is a set of deadly blades whistling at the bottom.
Oh
How
no.
deep is it?
Oh, yes.
It is 20 feet deep, so 20 feet to a side and 20 feet deep.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So enough to take a nasty hit, but not enough to instantly kill you. But the blades
Ooh, just
certainly won't help.
shovels.
Yeah.
Yeah, not enough to instantly kill you until the
Okay,
blade
that's-
comes back around.
The first blade won't kill you, but the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth will.
There we go.
So, in that case,
I
think
just want to
would
know
be
what's
more...
powering the blades.
Magic.
More kobolds.
There are two kobolds very rapidly spinning.
Yes, it's true. It's exactly what I thought. Downright.
Hamster wheeling it.
When Hala says she fights in the arena, that's what she meant.
Oh no, that's why Hala's not here! She's pushing the blades!
I mean,
Oh,
she is here.
That's why Hala's not fighting with us. She's powering the blades. Didn't know today was her day. Huh.
Listen, kobolds gotta make a hustle, okay?
Yeah.
This is their side hustle.
So, Burke,
Right.
you're first up. What do we
So-
do?
I've got 30 feet of movement. How close can I get to the kobold line if I go 10 feet downwards and towards them?
So 5, 10, 15. That's 15, 20, 25, 30. You can get that far forward.
Just waiting until it updates. Not a huge fan of this. You know what? Can I squeeze through that crack on the wall just underneath?
I'll allow that. Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. So, I'd like to go on the other side of the wall then.
20, 25. That's 25. Do you want to go 5 feet forward?
Yes, I do.
There you go. 20, 30. There you go. Anything else?
Perfect. And in that case, I'm just going to draw my sword and get ready to smack the first person who tries to approach me.
Okay.
A first enemy that tries to approach me.
Just important.
Good qualifier.
Oh, ready actions. It's sort of like you're signing a contract for what you're going to do. So yeah,
And
Burke.
the DM is like a devil and will take it right down to the last dotted I.
So Burke, just which weapon are you drawing?
The longsword in this case.
Okay, the
I'm
longsword.
holding it in both hands.
Oh yeah, the
and
magic
I'm ready to
longsword,
smack.
but you don't think it's magic.
Yeah.
So yeah, Burke takes out his
No,
it's very finely made longsword, and just marches forward. There's like this clattering and cutlery noise as he makes every step. He just shuffles awkwardly through this broken wall, and there's like blood splatters around the arena sands. This is clearly not the first fight of the day, and yeah, you just get beyond the wall.
Rude.
Yeah, get into position with the longsword and ready for any kobold that comes running your way. Okay, that's the end of your turn. So next up is Lyroon.
Dare you to step forward.
Cool. Cool beans. So you know the spiked block to the left of me. Sorry, the north left. How difficult would it be to climb up top of there without hurting myself? Like action?
It won't take your action, but it'll be an acrobatics check. You don't know DC necessarily, but
Cool. I will happily do some monk shit.
Okay.
Some monk shit.
If this goes badly, you will take damage.
No, it's a 27.
That 20 to open us off.
I could not get better.
Yes.
There you go.
Not.
You should just about make it.
So, do you want to describe this, or shall I?
You're 3 points off.
I'll describe it. So Lyroon, looking around the battlefield, decides that running up in there is just not the best idea yet. And starts, a running leap. Does a triple somersault through the air to land, a 3-point stand on the top of the block. Perfectly. Like if there were judges, it would be 10-10-10.
Of course.
And then pulls out a longbow, and from my additional height, would the caster in the back be additional AC?
Yeah, it's still a guy in front of him.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Then I will shoot the guy to the northeast of the caster.
Oh, you have longbow proficiency because elf privilege, right?
Elf privilege.
Elf privilege.
I was like, I didn't think monks had longbow. Oh,
They don't.
They don't.
You should see more elven monks. Yeah, need that elven accuracy next.
So it's just basic things for a kid of elven descent. You learn how to read, right? Wield a longbow, not sleep.
Not sleep.
Do you have to learn how to not sleep?
It depends on your parents. Like, Lyroon had, like 2 normal elves, so he didn't have to learn how to sleep. It was... Look, I could go into it,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now's not the time, though. So you...
Kind of special, though.
So you're perfect... sorry, go.
Pulls out the longbow, knocks an arrow, knocks another arrow, and both of them probably hit.
Yeah, they both definitely hit. And in fact, so the first one was 7 damage, is that right?
And if the first one kills them, then the second one's going towards the
the one
in the back.
Okay. So loads one arrow, looses, and it just takes the kobold straight through the eye, just erupts out of the back of his head, and he splats backward onto the ground, and sort of tumbles into the sorcerer standing behind him. But even as this body sort of flopping into him, he's looking down, confused at this his meat shield that's immediately become just meat. And Lyron's already loosed another arrow, just sailing straight towards him, takes him square in the chest, and he's just rocking back from the bow. He's not out for the count from that singular strike like his companion, but it certainly didn't do him any good. Let me just.
Yikes.
It's good. 1 down already. Yes, he's not bloodied yet, but he's certainly injured. Okay, so I'll just out that guy just so we remember he is dead. Oh, no, that didn't work. I'll make him red.
It's my little friend.
Orange. Orange means they're dead. Okay, so
Orange
next.
is the color of death.
Yeah, orange is the color of death today.
It means he's cool.
Yeah. And next up actually is what would have been him, and certainly his 2 friends. So the two other weaker looking kobolds look over at their companion who just got impaled by the arrow, and then look back to Lyroon. I assume none of you speak kobold?
Oh yes, of course I do.
that sounds like Nanto, but no.
Being racist, kobold and goblin are not the same, and neither is draconic.
But they're looking over towards Lyroon stood atop the spiky block, and they're just sort of not fancying the look of trying to climb up that, they don't, particularly after his perfect Olympian landing. So they saw Brooke slip behind the wall, so they're going to try and charge after him. So it's 5, 10,
I was hoping they would shoot
15,
an arrow at
20,
me.
25.
Catch it.
I just want to do monk shit, okay?
That's 30. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Let me just make... Yeah. So, Hmm. Hmm. No, I think that would be smart enough. So they just stop just out of your reach. So yeah, they just charge forward with a pair of them, sprinting 30 feet forward until they're just before Burke, and they each have a sling in hand. And they start like, whoop, 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 and then huck it forward towards you. Actually, no, one of them does. Sorry, yeah, no, here we go. So one of them moves forward, while the first one moves forward, the other one's like whirling that sling overhead and hucks it just as he moves forward. Obviously, you've got your readied action, so go ahead.
One moment, I'm just typing it out. It's not as easy as it looks to get the right thing happen.
And this will be simultaneous. So let's see. What's your AC, by the way?
It's going to be 17, given I don't have any sort of shield this time.
Okay, so you do actually get hit by the sling.
Soft! That's what you get for not wearing armor!
Rings.
Just getting abused by your teammates. Okay.
Everybody in
And
the stands knows Will is big on armor, man. You gotta wear armor if you're gonna be in the front line. That's what you
Yeah,
know.
look at Nanto. He's not even wearing any armor.
Yeah,
In
look
the
at
front
it's anti-armor.
look at Lyroon, who has
Who is
more,
wrong?
Lyroon has more armor than Baruch.
Okay, so the kobolds, the two kobolds come running forward, not fancying the look of Lyroon, going straight for Burke. One of them takes out a dagger. He's running towards Burke, and he just, with a little battle cry, just leaping forward with the knife, and it hits the chainmetal and just scrapes ineffectually down his chest, and he just sort of flops down onto the ground. And then Burke's just like looking down at him and just shrugs a bit, and then just swings his long sword overhand. The kobold ducks, rolls out the way, springing back to his feet.
And it just draws a long line in the sands, splattering some of the bloods that have been dried in there, but unfortunately leaving no mark on the kobold himself.
Exactly. So, but as he's doing that and he's dragging through the sand, he just feels it's barely a bruise, but there's just a stone that's pong off his forehead and just leaves a shallow graze. You take a whopping, what was it? It was 3 damage. It was the minimum damage possible from a sling.
Oh. How will you ever recover from this?
With a lot of anger.
Incidentally, Burke really does want plate armor. So yeah, talking about that, he will be upset. So that is the end of the kobold weakling's turn. Next up is Nanto.
Yes! So first off, I'm going to do what I always do. So I can see Will. Is Will looking ready to get into the thick of things?
Always. Oh yeah. Yeah, she's like, come on, my turn.
Alrighty.
Oh, go. No. Sorry. Baruch, you missed an attack, right?
You can only ready a single one.
No. Bless. You're blessed. Bless this house.
You are correct. Lyrin did cast Bless as the precast when you guys were going in.
I had
That's
entirely forgotten that.
Yeah,
right.
and it was targeting Will, Burke, and yourself, Lyrin. Was that right? Yeah.
The 3 frontliners.
I really need to get better at remembering
Makes
what happened, what you do last sessions. Okay, so yeah, Burke, give me
Good though.
that 2, and you rolled a 10.
A 10. So
That
a 12.
is enough. So it happens simultaneously. So they still get the sling hit, but yeah, it's just as he's launching forward with the dagger to scrape at you. How do you want to do that, Burke?
So as he launches through me with a dagger and it scrapes ineffectually, the kobold still falls on the ground, and just seeing that puny creature there, I would swing. It seems to just barely hit him, but just a bare but long wound through the arm is still a lot of blood. And so the kobold is pretty much immobilized for the moment.
Okay.
It's a whopping 14 magical slashing damage.
That instantly kills him. So yeah, he's just weak, pathetic kobold. So he's just bleeding out onto the ground. Just doesn't get back up after that sword strike. And after the little quick exchange of blows, you hear like the crowd just cheering out in celebration. Okay.
Yay, murder!
Yay, murder! So
that's why we're here.
that is literally the whole point of the arena. Nanto, you're up.
Alrighty. Question: if I was at I can't see coordinates, but basically 4 squares down from Will, would I be able to kind of use my Mantle of Inspiration on Baruch as well, or would I need to move around that to see him?
No, that's all right. You can just sort of poke your head around so you got kind of sight of everyone. What's
Okay.
the range? 60 feet, is that right?
60 feet.
Yeah, so you can do that, certainly.
So I will walk to that little square right there, and as customary, Nanto is going to just kind of like take his little quarterstaff, tap it twice on the ground, and his glamour is going to activate. His clothing becomes much more vibrant, much more like fey-like, with small little ethereal butterflies and vines that flow out from him. And I would like to inspire Will, Lyroon, and Baruch.
Cool beans. And I
Nice.
will ask this every single time.
How
much
many
temp
temp?
That's 8 temp hit points. In addition, Baruch used his reaction already, but
Yeah.
Lyroon and Will, you can use your reaction to move up to your speed without provoking. Get in there!
Yes.
Yeah.
Charge!
And I will.
Will.
I will.
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 He's just going to say just a little, alright everyone, let's get in there and have a good old romp.
Okay.
I'm okay with this.
So, yeah, you can
so
take
then,
your reaction to move. Yeah, go ahead.
As my reaction, I would like to move forward. I want to go a little bit diagonally, so I'm kind of like on the rim of that pit, leap over it at the area where it's going to be, yeah, like 10 feet or whatever, because my strength is silly.
Okay,
and
so
just charge towards the dragon. I want to get as close to the dragon as I can.
yeah, so how much is it? Your full movement you get to use with Mantle Inspiration.
Up
Yeah.
to its speed.
Okay, so
30
you
feet.
can 5,
Stinky.
10, 15. Long jump. If you've got to run up. So hang on. Long jump. I hate
Make
jumping.
a calculator.
Yeah, the
I
jumping
gotta make it
mechanics.
as complicated as I can.
The
Look,
the
just
jumping
put me
mechanics.
As close to the dragon as I can get. That's
Yeah,
what I need.
no,
right?
that's all
Beeline
good.
For the dragon.
It's you can cover a number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet before the jump, which you've done. So yes, so you go 5,
Honestly, I
10,
could probably leap over the whole thing if I really
5,
tried. My strength is a 17.
10. So you can move 5, 10, 17 feet. Wouldn't quite get you from there, but if you go 15,
Quite.
and then you can get to about there.
All right.
That all works.
She's gonna get there. She's gonna look at those kobolds and be like, "I ain't got any beef with you. You can come at me if you really want, though."
Okay.
If you want
Very
to.
precariously hanging on the edge there, though. Oof. They could just be like, fine.
Just waiting to get whacked back into the pit. But so
They can try and pin their strength against.
Right into
Yeah.
the pit.
That'll work out. For those
Right into the
kobolds.
pit.
and Lyroon, I
They'll try
assume.
and get you in the pit, and then you'll just sidestep right at the last minute, and they just go, "Ah!"
Like Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
So- Lyroon, I assume you're not moving from your lofty
Oh,
position.
Man, it's tough.
He's already
Yeah.
got the high ground. It's over.
That's true, you do have the high ground.
Which, I mean, but you underestimate my power.
Oh no!
Yeah, I'd like to hop off.
Okay.
And move. How many feet is straight east to that rock?
West. 5, 10, 15,
Whatever.
20, 25, 30 feet to there.
Cool. Can I go? Right there, actually.
Yeah?
No,
Okay.
no. Sorry. Up 5 feet over. Up either 5 or 10 feet, depending on how much that spike sticks out, and then over 5 feet.
All right, yeah, I see what you mean. No, you can sort of awkwardly be like next to the spike. Don't worry.
Excellent.
Yeah, it doesn't fill up. That'd be a big spike. Yeah, Lyroon leaps down from his spiky block and charges forward and takes cover behind. You're starting to nicely space yourself out. Good idea, given there's a dragon in the mix. And Baruch, you've already used your reaction, so you can't move. So that brings us to the dragon's turn. Of course,
I'm ready to get breathed
Breathed.
on.
breath.
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 Ready for the breath round.
Foul breath, Final Fantasy style.
Oh
Embrace
no,
the
we're gonna get
VVAO.
every status ailment.
And
Oh no.
the good
We're
news
all getting
is,
some diseases now.
I actually prepared a graphic for this.
I've seen it. It's really
Oh
pretty.
no.
I like it.
Oh!
So yeah, the dragon just like extends its wings and it's all the sand just washes out in all directions and just starts ascending up into the sky. And just these two martial characters who start stumbling forward towards his kobold worshippers. Just takes in a deep breath, and you see all that green blazing light that was along its length just surge up its neck, and that gullet, it's almost like a frog's like gullet, glows brightly and just goes. In fact, I can give you the exact sound effect thanks to Syrinscape, because epic games need epic sounds. Thank you, Syrinscape. And breath weapon, something like that. Anyway. So yeah, this poisonous green cloud just washes over you, singing straight through your armor. Let's see. Let me check.
Question:
Yeah.
Does the rock position give me half cover?
I mean, yeah. Let me just
Also,
check.
has he hurt his kobold friends now?
So he flew up, so he's coming down at an angle
Oh,
over his friends.
Damn it!
He's smart enough to know that. Dragons are pretty smart. So that is.
Yeah, well,
Nah,
not
they're
as
just
smart
big
as they like to say they are.
So
They're
it's-
big lizards with wings.
So that's a DC 14 Constitution saving throw for Lyroon and for Will.
You said
You guys got
con?
this.
Constitution.
Gross.
Poison.
Yeah, so I'm afraid your cover doesn't really help you now. Yeah, this poisonous gas cloud starts washing over you and seeping around all the corners and seeping into your lungs. And you can feel that burning sensation spreading through your lungs. Let's see how you do. Will, unfortunately, that is a
If I
12.
may.
Lyroon, no problem.
Will.
With bless.
We're blessed. Don't forget you're blessed, Will.
What?
Bless, wonderful.
Hold on, I'm gonna disconnect for a sec because my camera's died. So give me a moment.
Yeah, you just dramatically
Oh.
posed.
Right.
And like Will is standing there like, that's not gonna work. Oh man. Oh, I'm still not back to full strength. This sucks. Ah.
It's just the paladin complaining about.
This isn't even Will's
Anybody ever
final
told you
form.
that your breath is worse than your bite? Oh.
So, I rolled this up earlier.
Dang
Yeah,
it,
so that's
one point
38
off.
poison damage for Will, half damage for Lyroon.
Okay.
So that's 15 plus 4, so 19 damage for Lyroon.
Well, Will, by the way, never mind. Thank you're good.
No? Hmm?
Huh?
I-
Huh?
Yeah, you're good. G.
Yeah?
minus-
So,
Yeah.
Ravenous, your camera still doesn't seem to be working. You might want to just
Yeah.
switch to the built-in one in my terrible work laptop.
Sadly, I think I'll have to.
Or unplug it and plug it back in.
That's also a potential option.
That does usually fix it.
Turning it off and on again is a great solution.
Okay.
Actually, a very good one.
So, as I say, the dragon flies up into the air. It's now 30 feet off the ground, and it's moved a little bit forwards just afterwards. And it's going to fly. I think it's just going to fly over you guys, sort of feeling pretty confident. It's 30 feet up in the air, just flapping its wings, and it's just breathed out all that poisonous gas. And it's just sort of looking down, and you just see it. You can hear it, actually, those who can speak Draconic. There's this amused laughter.
Laugh all you can.
You will
DM
be
was 34 or 38 health.
38.
Ah, okay.
Let me double check, just to be 38.
I do not like this dragon. Its smug aura mocks me.
And it's just like
Well, you can tell he's smug because we can't understand, but...
Yeah, this is Smug's cousin, Smug.
Okay, so that's the end of the dragon's turn. Next up is it is indeed you, Ravenous. What do you do?
So first action, I will be, well, it's my only action, I think. I'm going to be moving to where, on top of that spiky block.
You're going to climb the spiky block as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go up the spiky
5,
block.
10, 15.
It's a nice spot. I
Looks
should have stayed there.
It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You can make it up, but it will require a acrobatics check to get past the spikes. So even though you got your slippers of spider climbing, it's just making sure you're not getting spiked, basically. But you'll have an easier time of it because of your slippers.
Okay. Athletics, did you say?
Acrobatics.
Oh. Well, that's fine because I'm more proficient in that. Oh, good. Right, 10. Perfectly average.
That's as I say, you have an easier time of it because of your slippers. So yeah, you just put your feet onto the block and you're just walking up the side of it, and it's just once or twice there's a spike there, and you're just like, it's a bit awkward maneuvering around. If you didn't have the slippers, you definitely would have been getting impaled repeatedly on your way up. But you get there and you're good. What do you do?
So I'm going to cast Hex on the dragon.
Okay.
And as I cast Hex, I, in infernal speak, say, "You speak gibberish no one understands too."
That's pretty good.
Which ability check are you gonna give disadvantage to?
Exactly.
Is it whisper louder?
No.
I don't know. I actually don't know. Can I put it to a consensus?
No, but we can come back to that for now. So
I don't understand the dynamic well enough.
yeah, you're.
I mean, what does Ravenous think is important? You know, this
Yeah.
dragon looks like it's very what to Ravenous. Give him disadvantage on that.
Yeah. Is it strong? Is it dexterous? Is it tough? Is it smart?
Annoying.
Yeah.
It is annoying.
It's alright. You don't have to choose right now. So, what's the rest of your turn?
So I don't think I have any actions left because Hex is my
It's
action.
your bonus action.
Oh, in which case I'm going to Eldritch Blast.
There we go.
Yeah.
I do what warlocks do.
Yeah, I do the
Eldritch
quintessential. Okay, so that's a 27 to
That
hit
definitely hits.
with 7 damage, and then my second Eldritch
Plus your hex damage. Don't forget.
Blast. Okay, so the hex damage was 4, so
Okay.
11 damage on that, and then the second was 12 to hit. I don't think that hits, right?
That does not hit, I'm afraid. So, yeah, Ravenous just climbs up, walks up the side of this concrete spiky block, barely avoiding the spikes, gets into position, and you can see it's a familiar sight to most of you. It's this sort of purple, shimmery, star-like essence washes over the dragon's form as it's the hex takes hold, and then Ravenous summons forth those 2 purple meteorites, one in each hand, flings one forward, and it detonates straight into straight through one of the wings. Actually, just punches a clean hole through it, and the dragon just looks at the wing and then looks back to you. It's like, even though it can't understand you and you can't understand it, it definitely seems to wish you murderous intent. The second one flies forward towards it and it just ducks out of the way, and the meteorite just sails off into the sky. But yeah, you've certainly dealt a little bit of damage to it. That is a total of 11 damage you've dealt to the dragon. So, anything else, Ravenous? I don't think you can do anything else, to be
I
fair.
don't have anything else to do now.
That is you. So, next up is the kobolds, because Will was right at the bottom of the initiative with initiative of 2. So next up is the shield wearing. Hang on, let me double check. Sorry, no, it's the sorcerer at the back, the magician kobold. So watching this and seeing the seeing that Ravenous actually has just loosed a couple of something at his precious master. He's very displeased with that. So he's going to skitter forward towards the pit. Let me just check the range on this, actually. Make sure I'm not putting him in undue danger. Oh, no, yeah. No, he doesn't need to skitter forward at all. So he just moves a little bit to the southeast. Doesn't grow in size. 5, 10, 15. Lining
What
up
a shame.
nice clear shot on Ravenous and starts speaking in Draconic, which all of you can understand. And it's just a series of incantations. Bring me the fire spirit. And he's just his hands waving over and over again. There's this ball of flame gathering between his hands, and then 3 blazing rays of fire erupt from it across the arena.
No, not these!
Towards Ravenous. It's Scorching Ray. So let's see.
Bad memories of these.
Let's see how he does. So he doesn't get pat tactics because he hasn't got a friendly nearby at least.
Oh,
So you got that going for you.
Question. Shouldn't they have disadvantage because of sunlight?
Yeah, sorry, I meant to mention this at the start. So there's like a screen over it. They thought about this.
They all have 6 shades.
they've all got sunglasses.
There's a nice sunscreen over the arena, covering them, blocking out the sun.
So good.
Wow, they really tilted this battle, huh?
Okay, so the first ray of fire comes screaming towards Ravenous, and it just blazes straight past her and blackening a portion of the stone block that she stood atop. I just realised she's not here, so she can't actually hear this, but she'll find out after the fact. The second ray comes straight towards her, and it's dead on target, and she just sees it, like eyes widening, and just throws herself out of the way. Thanks to the slip as a spider climb, she can just stand sideways on top of the stone block, no problem. But the third one, because of that awkward position she's in, just takes it straight dead center into the chest and starts burning away at the studded levers. So yeah, Ravenous, there's 3 scorching rays come your way. The first 2 miss, 1 hits. So I will need a concentration save from you while I work out the damage. You take 6 damage.
Not bad.
Oh, sorry, it's Constitution, basically. Oh, yeah, and Lyroon, I will need a concentration save for your Bless.
Bless.
That'll be a 3 from Ravenous.
Okay.
Oh no.
That is unfortunate. So, yeah, the flames hit you in the chest. The flames hit you in the chest. The first one just scorched across the rock. The second one, you saw it coming. You threw yourself sideways on the stone block. The third one hit you square in the chest. And that burning heat, you're just not ready for it. And you just wince of pain. And you forget to keep concentrating on the hex spell. And it just immediately, that purple luster across the dragon's form dissipates. You've lost concentration on the spell. Lyroon, how about your Bless?
I pass it with flying colors.
There we go.
Bless.
Yeah, good. Okay, so that's the end of the... Actually, then the rest of the sorcerer's movements, they'll just... Because they started 5, 10... 15... I think they're just going to move here. Okay, so he just ducks behind a stone block. Then the 2 shield bearers move into action. So
Bears, bring it.
Shield bears.
So one charges forward towards Will with the shield in play, and is going to...
But he's a kobold, so he's got a shield, but also it's kind of like he's got a shield.
He is the shield. He is the shield. That's it.
Like he's holding his shield, but I'm just looking over it.
You can still see it anyway.
Not a lot of him above the shield, I imagine.
I'm actually hoping it's a full-size tower shield for a normal person, and it's 3 times his height.
Oh
Anyway,
my god.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So he's got a spear and shield.
It used to be that.
he's
The
just,
top end is actually slanted this way. So it just gets it from top as well.
You'll get your chin sound.
so he's got his spear and shield. He's charging forward. Immediately smacks a shield straight into Will's shins. It's a shove action, a shove attack.
Okay, athletics.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up to make sure I got this right.
It's athletics versus athletics or acrobatics, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna pick athletics.
Good. Okay, let's see how you do.
For glory.
I have bless.
This is a
check.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, so it won't help with that.
this is one of the
I
very
don't
few
have
times.
bless. It's still 16 though.
But it's still 16, and he got a nat 6. So yeah, he just runs forward with the shield like ready, and just smacks into your shins.
Get down, ankle biter. The hell is that supposed to be?
And then he just looks up at you, and he just looks back, and he's like, "No, that's not going to work." And just
I
tries.
shrug at him with my shield. Like what? What was the plan?
What were you planning? What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah. Then the next one comes to do the same thing and gets a nat 20.
Yep.
So
He
then,
was just the distraction.
yeah, so he charges forward, smacks into your shins ineffectually with the shield, and you can see him. You can see you sort of shrugging him, and he's like, and just stabs forward with his spear, trying to get past the plate armor, and it just scratches a long line across your grandmother's plate armor, but no damage, just paint job.
Merchandise, man. Come on.
Yeah, the newly polished gift from.
I'm ready to play whack-a-mole now.
Yeah, exactly. The other one. Now his companion's moved into place. He sees his opportunity. 5, 10, 15, moves forward to do the very same. So he's.
Can he shove me into the pit from there?
No, yeah. So he's just going to go for 2 stabs at the spear. Mostly because I don't think shove action gets the any pack tactics advantage.
Not an attack roll.
Yeah. So thrust forward with the spear, and once again it's just scraping it up across your armor. The second spear thrust, though, he manages to jam it just into the knee, and it's just the spear point just about managing to get through. It's a 21 to hit. Let me just check. Yes, it's 1d6.
If I get killed by a kobold, I'm gonna be embarrassed.
So that is 6 piercing damage.
Okay, I'm hurting, but I'm standing.
Oh, good. Lerun, I need a love punch.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so yeah, you thrust forward with the spear, and you can just feel that trickle of blood running down the inside of your plate armor. You're taking a pretty brutal beating just from the dragon's breath, and then from these thrusts from the kobolds. That's the end of their turn, though, and that finally brings us to Will at the bottom of the round.
Well, I'm gonna beat the crap out of some kobolds.
Okay.
The one that came at me with the shield gets a kick.
Okay, like a shove.
No, like I'm gonna beat him with my warhammer. Oh,
Uh.
I rolled damage
not a
instead of
kick.
attack. I'm sorry.
Damage before attack roll. There you go. Plus bless.
Does a 16 hit?
It does actually. Yeah. So you don't need the bless.
Okay, so I won't roll for bless. And then I already rolled damage for
Yeah,
it, so
so-
yay.
4 damage. Okay.
A whopping 4 damage. And so I'm gonna smite him.
Yeah.
Smite him. Okay. Do I have a mount? Do I have a noise
have the
effect?
Smite on thingy.
On
I'll just
thingy?
roll it.
Oh, just roll the damage dice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to beyond. I'm sorry.
That's fine. No, I don't have a smite sound effect, unfortunately.
Well, I smite him really, really hard as I got 2 8s on my 2d8s.
Jeez. Yeah, minimum on the damage roll, but make up for it in the smite. Okay, and that's
yeah,
your.
I'm like, you thought you were safe, weren't you? And then there's just this blinding explosion as hopefully it comes from his chest and he explodes.
It doesn't.
What color?
Brilliant and goldeny.
Yeah. There we go. So that's the
What
warhammer.
does it smell like?
No.
Cooking
Don't
lizard.
go there.
So yeah.
Barbecue.
So yeah. This.
Unless
smell
you
of
have
your
synesthesia, it doesn't smell.
So, the kobold came charging in with his shield and rammed ineffectually into your shins and thrust up with his spear, again ineffectually. And you took a hit from the other one into your knee, but then you just wallop the first one with your warhammer. And as you swing, there's just this glorious radiant light building on it. And you just crack him dead into the chest, and this burning radiant light spreads out and it's like cracks in his chest. And he's like panting, but he's not dead. He just certainly seems wounded from it. These guys seem a lot tougher than their weedy companions.
I can fix that.
Quietly whispering threateningly into the microphone.
There you go.
Thank you, Natridge.
Oh my god.
Oh, so that is a total of a 13 to hit with bless. I'm afraid that does not hit. So
Sucks.
yeah, so you just crack.
Guess I'll just die.
So the
I'll
first
just die
swing,
then.
first swing cracks him in the chest, and there's just like fumes rising off him from the radiant smoke. The second blow, Sammy, what's going on?
Nothing's breaking.
It's my work
Okay.
laptop melting.
Whatever,
There you go.
that's happening.
So the second blow, Anyway, well, you're just ruining the camera, Sammy, but it's fine. So the second blow, he manages to get his shield up in time, and he just boom, just rings against it. But yeah, his arm is numb, and he's swearing at you profusely in Draconic, but he's still in for the count.
That won't affect me because I don't speak Draconic.
He's swearing at me in Draconic, and I'm sitting here like, are you kidding me? You're trying to hit with a spitting blade. You scratched my Gramsci's armor. I'm going to crush you. Not impressed. Also in Draconic.
Okay.
I can't move through. Ooh. Can I move through the dragon because he's way bigger than
Yeah,
I am?
he's actually 30 feet in the air, so you can certainly you can move up, but then you'll be getting an attack of opportunity from the southern kobold.
Yeah, but I'm not like I'm in a very precarious situation. I'd like to not also have the threat of falling onto spitting blades. So
Yeah, that would be
I
bad.
would like to shimmy round so that I'm like south. Yeah, that's good. That
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. Okay, so you get an attack of opportunity. Let's just roll that. Okay, so yeah, he thrusts forward with a spear, and it is looking like it's going to be dead on target. It's coming straight through your chest, just in the center, just underneath where the top plate of your armor is. But you just smash it aside of your warhammer at the last moment, and doesn't quite snap the spear, but it certainly looks to have weakened somewhat from the impact of the blow. Yeah, you're able to circle
I have
around.
a question. Well, I have bonus action, sir. Divine Smite is not an action or anything yet. So, temporary hit points. Would they bring somebody up from being unconscious?
Yes. The 10 hit points count as hit points.
Yeah.
Cool. In that case, I'm gonna shimmy one more square over, and I'm gonna bonus action shove because I have.
Oh, your shield master feats. Hey, so
Do I have to be there? Can I be one square north and still kick him in? Because I don't want to provoke attacks. Yeah.
yeah, go
All
for
right,
it.
let's see if this works.
Okay, so I need to roll for his
Now
context.
you get the high roll. Yeah, DC 24 athletics or acrobatics from the kobold.
Oh, I'm so
Good
sorry.
luck.
Well, you got 24 anyway. So even though he nat 20s, he's still actually impossible for him to succeed.
It is.
Yeah, because he's a kobold.
Nice.
Because it's not a save, it's a
Nice.
check. Let me just check. Yeah, he gets. Yeah, his mod. He wouldn't be able to do anything about it.
And I kick him with my foot.
Yeah, so and there's this like you can see this Herculean effort from the kobold to try not to his muscles are bunching and like
Trying.
this is and you fought a few kobolds in your time. This is by far the strongest kobold you have ever met, and even so,
Not strong enough.
yeah, and even so, I mean the sheer weight of the plate armored foot and your muscles behind it just send him careening backwards, and, like, and just plunging down. Yeah, you can have a Wilhelm scream for that. There you go. And he plunges down into the... And you just hear this horrible, sickening, bone-crunching sound as the blades start slicing into him.
You asked for it.
Okay, so let me just roll up.
Can't hear you anymore, but it's fine.
If he still had ears attached to his head, he'd hear
His
that.
soul can still be taunted.
I look at his friend and I point at him and I'm like, learn from his mistakes.
You're next.
So he fails the dexterity. Okay, so I'm just rolling up all the damage he's taking.
I'll be your meat.
Too much.
Okay, so yeah, he just sails in, cracks into the ground. That alone does a decent amount of damage. The blade starts slicing into him, and he's trying to roll out the way of it, but he's got his shield and his armor, and he just got smacked in the chest and all the rest of it. And the blades just start carving him up into pieces of kobold. He's dead.
Yeah.
Ooh,
He's never
pieces
played
of
Half-Life.
kobold.
Yeah. Okay,
He did.
he did.
You should definitely put like 10 pieces of him in different places in that circle.
That is way too much effort. Blender though, the blender got him. So
Why didn't we have a custom drawing of kobold pieces, Ravenous?
I know this was coming. I wasn't
Okay.
aware of this scenario.
So that brings us back to the top of the round. Round two. Brooke, you're up.
Right, so first things first, I am going to move 10 feet west and 5 feet south, just to slow the circle around the other of the puny kobolds.
Yeah.
The one that attempted to hit me with a sling. I do not
Successfully.
take I do not take well to that. So I'm going to try and slash at him with the longsword.
Okay,
Buruk took that personally.
that makes
I
sense.
very much did. So holding it with both of my hands would 25 hit.
With an AC of 12, I think it might.
No. That's 25 plus bless.
Plus
Oh,
bless.
keep going.
No, I think that will be quite enough. I'm going to
Yeah, he's dead.
get a wide
He's
gash
dead.
through him, 7 slashing damage. Seems like, you know, I also make sure that that slash does go through the sling itself. Just to be sure that he doesn't try to pull that trick again.
Okay, so the longsword sweeps in a horizontal swipe, cuts straight through the sling that he'd just been loading another stone and starting to whip it around. The stone goes careening across the arena to clatter into the crowd, and they're like, ah! But then, it just cuts straight through his net and bisects him. And 2 halves of kobold. And Will, just as you were away at the time, he got murdered by the spinny fan attack.
Yeah, I figured from the blade cutting through his throat.
It was close.
It's more than just his throat. It's all of it.
Yeah, he's in. There's many kobold chunks. But yeah, okay, Buruk. So that's your first attack.
I hope
So
you're not in there,
that takes-
Hala.
That takes care of the first mess. As the rock flies towards the crowd, Burke would be looking at it and sort of just pointing towards the crowd, saying, "You can keep that one as a trophy." He walks forward, the sorcerer. So I would move 10 more feet west and back 5 foot northwards.
Okay.
Look, Baruch, this is a sorcerer. You don't believe in magic, right? He's just a normal kobold.
I've seen him conjure bolts of fire. That has to be fixed and quickly. And I am going to swing at this guy,
Okay.
and it is going to be a pushing attack should it hit. Will a 15 hit?
Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure it does.
Okay.
That does. Definitely hits.
Okay. So in that case, there's a few things I'm going to need from him. First off, he takes 12 damage proper. Then he takes an extra 1d8 damage from the maneuver, which is 8 more for 20 total.
Oh.
And finally, I would like a DC 15 strength save from him.
Okay. Oh, his strength.
He's not pulp yet, you mean?
You're asking an awful lot, Baruch.
I am just
Oh.
making.
He nat 20 the strength save, even with a -2. I think that he still passes. So yeah, there's this. How do you want to describe this?
So as I walk by, the first horizontal slash just gives me a bit of momentum. I turn, I look at the crowd, I keep walking towards this kobold, and just basically from the same direction my sword is currently, I just swing it with both of my hands with a long diagonal upward swing, hoping to lift and land the sorcerer onto the spikes on the wall.
Yeah, it's just this.
Keep his footing, but otherwise is not too well off.
So you just this long diagonal upward swipe, and it carves a vicious slice from basically his hip all the way up to his right shoulder, left hip to right shoulder, and like you can see, he's in a bloody state. He's pretty much in critical, and he's lifted off the ground a good foot, but then his hand just reaches out to that concrete block beside you and just grabs onto it and manages to hold himself in place before he gets flung onto the spikes behind him. No dice. Any bonus action?
Not from me, no. I will just growl at him that he's a tenacious one. Might give him another whack.
Okay, so that finishes up your turn, Burke. So next up is Arun.
Cool. First thing I do is, seeing Will all bloody and burned, yell out, "Are you okay?"
Oh.
I think my armor's the one thing keeping my insides on the inside.
Excellent.
But I'm fine.
Nope. I mean, hey, you answered the one way the first way, so you're getting healed. 1 to the right, 3 to the south.
Yeah.
Oh man. No, I told you, I'll be okay. I don't wanna-
Or 4 to the south.
But Will, this is all meant to be on in the inside of you.
Like as there's a pool of blood, just sort of
In between the kobold and Will, yes.
Yeah, sorry, misunderstood.
You guys
There you
know
go.
in, like Looney Tunes when somebody gets shot and then they drink water? That's her armor right now.
Or is that
Just some blood gushing out.
Blood sputtering out.
So, so I'm going to do 2 unarmed attacks on
Shield bearer.
the shield bearer. 14. I'm assuming a 22 hits.
Yeah, 22 hits. 14 does not. Have you done bless on yourself?
My what?
You bless yourself.
Yeah,
Did...
on yourself.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 14 was what you rolled plus 8. So yeah, 22 to hit. Yeah. Sorry, 22 hits. Yes.
And let's do the second one, and that's 18 to hit. Does that hit?
18. Yeah, also hits.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Not even gonna bother with bless then. Cool. Then Fury of Blows. I'll describe this all in a second.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's fine.
I'm gonna add bless to that. I doubt it'll help, but let's see.
Oh, your flurry of blows hits. Yeah, 2 extra attacks, right? Yeah, so 12.
I'm only gonna do 1 because the last one's gonna be a healing hand.
Healing hand. 12 does not hit, I'm afraid.
Awesome.
Okay.
And this says Hand of Harm, but it's actually Hand of Healing.
Yeah, it's just can't quite handle it on D&D Beyond. It's not ready for the new classes they released. So it's 8 hit points restored to Will. I'll just go to Lou as you describe it.
Cool. So Lyron, turns around the corner, thinking, between whether or not to shoot down the dragon or to help friends. Obviously, help friends. So run forward, do a kind of like a roundhouse kick, followed with just like a knee. And as turning sideways, there's like in that like weird position, pushes a hand out towards Will, and there's this like wah 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 as things are a little better.
Damn it! And she's obviously very upset about being a hindrance at this point.
Ah, my intestines are back in my body.
Damn it, why'd you put those back in there? I wanted them outside anyways. Gosh,
I
no
like
one
that.
understands me.
I liked the
don't
water
wanna be
feature
slowing
that
you
my
guys
armor was
down.
creating.
What are you, a Nurglite? Gross.
Damn it! I told you I
And
wasn't
what
gonna
if I
heat
am?
up.
Then you're a
I was living
heretic,
out-
need to be burned.
Will was just living out her dream of being a fountain with the water effect from her armor.
Yeah, don't
No,
judge
she's
her. She
actually
just wants
really
to be a
upset that she needed healing at all. She's like,
Oh, we're in this together, Will.
I'm not being
All in
awful.
this
Bad
together.
paladin.
Oh God, no, please.
If you really don't want the healing, I think you can technically refuse to get healed. It has to be a friendly creature you punch to heal.
No,
right?
no, it doesn't. That's the best
Oh.
part about Hand of Healing, right? I can heal anyone as long as it's in
That's what I
melee.
was
Construct,
wondering, yeah.
Construct, I can heal him. Enemy, I can heal him. Undead, I can heal him.
What?
Yeah, like
No.
Lay on Hands has all those stipulations, but I didn't
Not
know
me.
if he, yeah.
Feel my love punch.
It's everyone has key, even the undead.
Feel
Life
my
force.
love punch is definitely the best battle cry I've heard in a while.
Feel my love punch.
That,
So, okay, so that's 8 hit points restored to Will. And how much damage was it to the
No,
kobold?
you don't have to be willing recipient of Lay on Hands either. You can't be a construct or undead, but I don't need your permission.
nice.
You will
No.
accept it.
Yeah,
Non-consensual healing. Yeah,
Guys,
so
healing is about consent.
No, not in this house.
so
Not in this house. Slap healing.
so there's 2 unarmed strikes. Yeah, sorry, I missed it while I was in loop. But yes, so 2 hits to the dragon, the shield bearer, rocking back from the blows, and then a rapid healing to Will. So,
And I assume he's not dead, right?
no, absolutely
Cool. Move around him to the other side.
not. Okay, so yeah, like here or to here.
There.
Okay, so just on the pit's edge, but ready for that flanking +1 to hit. Well, not quite advantage, but you know what I mean. So,
I also want, if the dragon to breathe, him to hit his ally.
alright. So it's a good
great.
detail to note. Actually, all of the kobolds you're seeing, they have green scales. No.
Oh, you sons of.
There's a reason they're worshipping a green dragon. That doesn't.
Would have been something to have mentioned, like before Lyron made his choice of decisions there.
I mean, it doesn't mean they're immune. It just, well, out of meta terms, it means they're resistant, not immune. But also, the dragon can't do his dragon breath every turn. I have to roll. You wouldn't know this, Ravenous. So basically, you have to roll to see if the breath regens.
I
And in
feel
fact,
like Will is going to be at least a little bit privy to the way that dragons work.
yeah, she's like a professional dragon slayer. And in fact, actually, you have seen that the green energy that had been coalescing is starting to regather across the dragon's length.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
Oh, I hate this.
yeah. So he did roll. He rolled a
Nanto, we're gonna
6.
need you to counterspell that.
Yes, I will counterspell breath. I will counter breath, okay? Bards get that, right? Counter breath?
That doesn't sound good. So whose turn is it?
I will use breath mint. So yeah, next up is the kobold weaklings. I think they're all dead. Yep. So next up is Nanto.
Ah, beautiful. So here's the thing.
Counterspell breath.
I'm looking at the map right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to ask. Slow is a 40-foot cube. So, could I position the cube? If you go to the
Ooh.
bottom square of the dragon, if you go down 8 squares, I can technically still encompass that guy who's sitting around the pillar with Baruch. So it's a 40-foot square, or cube.
Yeah, I know
So
me.
40 on each side.
Oh, 40 on each side. I thought it's 20 on each side. Oh, jeez, hang on.
That 40-foot cube.
Like
This
that.
is the slow spell, by the way.
Yeah. Let me just make that a bit thicker so you can see it.
And then if you go down...
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Sorry, I'm just making sure I got the measurements correct. So I was just doing that on the fly.
Oh, I was counting this quite often while you guys were taking your turns.
So you're wanting to do something like that?
Well, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
not
6.
square.
That's only 7.
4,
Yeah,
5,
it's
6.
7
Oh,
by
there we
8.
go. I got the width right. I got the length wrong.
Yep.
So
So there, it should be able to target the 2
yeah.
kobolds remaining and the dragon.
and it's a 40-foot cube. My rule is always you have to get half of the creature in, and by default it's 30 feet in the sky. You've got exactly half in, so you can literally get every single enemy into this cube, and you can pick your targets with slow as well. There's no friendly fire, so this is a perfect
Oh,
spell.
I was
Does it mean that they get less
Nice,
turn?
Nanto.
So-
I was counting this out like intently, being like,
pretty
okay,
damn
I'm gonna
good.
go up, and then,
I can
and then
make
that guy
this
doesn't move.
work.
It's one of the most
Where's
underrated spells in D&D.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the photo with all the math. That was Nanto.
Yeah, like the equations just going
Yeah.
by my
It's
head.
pretty damn good.
I think it's from The Hangover. So Ravenous, I'm conscious you aren't as familiar with the spell. So basically, slow. What it results in, you get a -2 to the AC of the creature that's affected by it. They can't, if they try to cast a spell, there's a chance it doesn't take effect actually until the next turn because they're so slowed down. I think multi-attack becomes just singular attack. And they can't. Their movement speed is like halved, and basically it's a whole bunch of disadvantages and problems. It's kind of like the opposite of haste, if you've ever heard of haste.
Yeah, but the only haste and slow I know of is in Final Fantasy, where if you cast haste and slow, they take it's like their initiative goes down and they don't take as many turns or something. Or
It's kind of like a mechanical reflection of that. They do less stuff, and the stuff they do is worse, and also it's easier to hit them. So so that's wisdom, right?
Pretty good spell. Just saying.
Yeah, it's level 3, so it's his
Yes,
only
DC
time.
14.
This is only level 3 slot for Nanto. So this is his big trick for the day.
Oh, I've got 2. I just didn't long rest from before, so now I have.
So let's start with the dragon. So it's wisdom.
Mhm.
Fails.
No.
Next up is the shield bearer, which
No
is
legendary resistance on this guy?
God, no.
no, he's just a young dragon. He's not a grown up yet. The shield bearer fails, and the sorcerer. Sorcerer passes. So yeah.
So close.
No, you got the dragon, and that's probably the most important thing. So, how do you flavor this? I don't think you cast slow yet.
I'm going to. First of all, I would like to step to 2 squares. Let's just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 up, 2 left.
Okay, let me just get. So I was listening to you too much, and I forgot that I have to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 left, like there.
Yep. So I'll go right there, and I am going to announce in my wonderful whimsical aura and just say, "All right, enough of that. Everyone, just slow down. Take
really
a breather,
like this
everyone." And this wave of lethargy just moves over the area.
So it's almost imperceptible, but there's just these waves of distorted air start ripping out from the center of this cube and washing out in all directions 40 feet up into the sky, over towards the dragon, the kobold shield bearer and the sorcerer that Burrick's facing down against. And before your eyes, those wings that were flapping in the air, they just start slowing down. That already low-pitched bestial roar that's emanating from it just drops about 4 octaves and slows down. And it's just this weird distortion effect as it slowed down. The same with the shield bearer, like he'd have been twisting around to face down against Lyroon as he was circling around him, and he just starts slowing down almost like bullet time. The sorcerer alone is able to shrug off the effects of the spell and keep a close eye on this terrifying fighter hobgoblin that's just before him with all these different weapons. Well played. Well played. Anything for your bonus action?
I still have a bonus action.
Yeah.
Oh.
You see that little kobold?
Ooh.
I would like to try and telekinetically shove them towards me into the pit.
No.
No.
Totally forgot that you had that ability. Right. What's the DC?
So that is going to be the same as my spellcasting. 14.
It's 14.
Strength save.
Okay. He just barely passes. So I assume slow doesn't mess with that, right?
I don't believe so. No, it doesn't affect strength.
Yeah,
save.
so yeah, he feels that it's a slight tugging sensation. He's already slowed down, and he just sinks into place and sort of locks himself, planting his feet, and he just slides about an inch to the right towards the pit, but doesn't quite slip in. But he's looking terrified. Well, slowly looking terrified.
Nanto just, whoa, careful, friend. Another step, and you might have just fallen down there. And it's not very pleasant down there.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, the slow spell didn't reach down there because it only went upwards. So yeah, you still hear that. And there's a like slightly wet, meaty sound accompanying it. Something's getting blended down there. So next up is the dragon, indeed. So the dragon, as I say, it's been slowed down. It is still able. It has regenerated though, so that like green glowing that had been going across its body right at the beginning of this battle has come back.
That's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
However, as the only person who has hit this dragon, would it not be focused on me?
You'll see.
Should like it too.
She really would.
I have an amulet that means I can't be poisoned.
Oh,
Yeah, you're immune to poison damage.
Right?
that's
And
great.
it doesn't matter how smart it is, it doesn't know that. So let me just check its flight speed. Oh yeah,
This is why
flight
I've been
speed
trying to, like,
80
go for
feet.
him only.
Flight speed is 80 feet, so 40 is half to 40. Yeah, basically what I was making sure was, does it make sense for it? So hang on, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So basically I was trying to make sure it made sense for it to go after Ravenous, because if it couldn't get into a position where it'd be trying to blast her and Nanto, then it would carry on just trying to get the two that it had already got in the first place. So yeah,
I hate to interrupt, but because this is important to me, is there something keeping this dragon from just leaving the arena?
Or
Said
for
there
that,
was a net, right?
so there's, as I said, there's like a screen. I didn't really describe this very well at the beginning, but basically a screen was brought up like over.
Net's made of mithril.
There's a screen that was brought up over the arena to block out the sunlight, so it's basically trapped in. There's like
Okay,
a.
alright, we're in a big arena greenhouse. Got it.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
gotcha. Yeah.
Accidentally unleashing dragons into the wild.
Yeah,
That might be a problem.
exactly. They thought about this. That one, they needed to make sure the kobolds gave any kind of fight that was worth watching. But two, they don't want dragons just flying free. The Duchess.
Assuming that the crowd is also protected, yeah?
Yeah, so you can actually see the Duchess and her daughter are actually on the front row at the top in the northern end of the arena. I don't know if you can see those two little figigurines.
I was gonna ask, where's Dorif? Because I'm supposed to give him a wave.
Yeah, so actually, I meant to actually put his into the crowd, but I forgot to do it. So, Dorif,
Aww.
I'm just going to do a copy of you.
My babe.
He's up at the very top at the back. Because he can't.
He's got the back row.
Yeah, he can't afford. He's just a servant. He can't afford the good seats. Can't even.
No.
No. He is
You can stand on a box and get a better view. It's okay.
no. He is an unemployed servant.
Yeah, that's
Oh
true.
god, even worse.
Yeah, as of
What
now.
expe-
Anyway,
I have plenty of experience.
Poor Dorif.
so let's get this into position. So the dragon gets itself into place, and it actually crashes down. Well, not quite crashes down to the ground, but lowers itself until it's basically around the same height as Ravenous, so about 10 feet off the ground. Opens its maw, and that bright green emerald glow that's been glowing across his body surges up. Its gullet is almost blindingly bright, and it lets loose that horrifying poison breath attack.
Ravenous, no, look out!
Lyron was like, no, it's fine.
Exactly, and it just
I
washes.
caught in that?
This cloud just spills outwards. Indeed, Nanto's caught in it as well. Just spills outwards. Nanto, Warforged. So he's resistance.
Yep.
Like
So-
Ravenous is just sitting there like cross armed, just like, oh my god, oh my goodness. And then,
Oh my
right
goodness.
right behind her, Nanto's just standing there like, this is fine.
So
I will
I'll-
say, I have advantage against being poisoned and just resistance to poison damage.
yeah. So DC 14 Constitution saving throw for Nanto, and then we'll see. We'll see.
not blessed.
Whatever you get is halved. Yeah, you're not blessed, so it's just you get half damage effectively from this.
Nanto,
Dang it.
no.
Fine.
He'll manage.
I mean, again, I do want to say, no, do not worry about Nanto in this situation. I have more HP than Will.
Oh wow.
He's got no dex. He's all con. So that is a failure on a save. So that means just half damage on the full damage, which is 39. So you take 19 damage.
Oof.
Fine.
Ouchie, my metal.
Yeah.
Nanto, you see, we're not worried about you. We're worried about your spells.
Indeed. And then I'll need a
Just
concentration
so you
save.
know.
That's it. Success.
And
Why
because
didn't
you've
you
got
switch the other ways around? Come on.
yeah, so it's 19. I think that might be a failure. Hang on. No, it's halved, isn't it? Yeah, so yeah, it's 20 or higher. Yeah, so yeah, 13 is a save. As I say, the dragon flaps forward in slow motion and moves in behind Ravenous. Pissed off at the hole that's been punched through its wing. The only damage it's taken throughout this arena fight so far. Opens up its gullet, all that emerald energy glowing upwards, and then just this billowing cloud of poison fury released. It washes straight over Ravenous, and she's just standing there, utterly unaffected and unharmed, despite your concerns. Nanto, on the other hand, despite being a robot, is just starting to sink in. Perhaps it gets in the way of a few gears, or one or two slightly more organic components, but in any case, he feels that burn racing through his body to the effect of 19 damage, but he manages to maintain his concentration on the slow spell. And that,
Yeah, I can't. He'll let out a oh my.
What nasty breath you have, sir, which I can smell.
and Ravenous, you're up. So
Ravenous just gives a little yawn at that attack.
it is within melee range, by the way.
I was gonna say, you mentioned he was about 10 feet. Am I not able to use my Eldritch Blast?
So you can, but it'll be at disadvantage because it's in close combat. Unless you move out of range.
However,
It's at 10 feet now.
Okay.
Because of slow, he cannot take reactions.
So you can run away without taking any damage.
Thank you, Nanto.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just climb down. I'll jump down. I'll make a little leap away from the rock that I'm on. Not so that it's in the way of me, because otherwise I can't see him. So I'll go between that and the little wall that's like sticking out.
There?
Yeah, that's perfect. I will then use my bonus action to cast Hex upon B.
Okay, rehexing.
Rehexing. And I'm gonna take his strength. Disadvantage.
That's fine.
Okay, you're going to go for
Okay.
strength. All good. It's also worth saying that emerald glowing energy that had been that had recoalesced immediately last time doesn't seem to be coming back right away this time. So based on what you've seen, doesn't seem to be right away ready for a breath attack again.
Nice. So I'm rehexing him. And then because of my angle and where I was, I happened to have like caught eye of Dora, give him a little yoo-hoo. I see you. And then I will let out my Eldritch Blast. So that would be a.
Okay, so while you're rolling it up, Dorif is the person that Ravenous promised a date with in return for some information on Lord Flashheart earlier in the series. And yeah, he just raises his hand, he gives a little twinkle, and he's this big cheesy grin. He's like, turns to his friend next to him and starts shoving his shoulder. He's very, very excited and
My
happy.
girl.
That's my girl. That's it. There she
Okay,
is.
so I wasn't sure what would or would not hit, so I just rolled everything.
Yeah, go for it. So 19 and an 18. Let me double check. Those both hit.
Nice.
So
So I've done both the damage as well as the extra roll for the hex.
yeah, all good. Any particular flavour, or shall I say it?
It's same as always. It's
Yeah.
little meteorites
Okay.
that spark out from my palm.
So Ravenous just jumps down from that stone block, like trying to get away from this giant dragon that's like flapping right beside her, and it's quite terrifying. And it's too slow, like it gives like a slow, like clumsy, like rake out with its claws. But by the time it snatches shut, she's already on the ground and running away. She just turns around, those two purple meteorites summoning into her hands. This time, as they're flying, you can see that purple shimmering essence cover the dragon once more, and again, bam, bam. There's two holes punch through its wings, and it's like still very much a terrifying massive dragon, but it's got a few ragged holes in its wings. It's looking pretty unhappy about that situation. So far it's taken a total of 33 damage, but just injured, not bloodied yet. So that brings us to the end of your turn, unless there's anything else, Ravenous.
I don't think I will do anything else. If nothing, I'm just trying to see if there's any way I can get out of everybody else's firing line. No, I think where I am is pretty apt right now.
Okay, so the sorcerer, the kobold that's before Brooke, he's got this terrifying hobgoblin standing over him, looking around in pretty open concern. Let's just have this. Brooke, could you give me a wisdom save?
Oh no.
With advantage.
Oh no. Oh, with advantage. Oh.
Yeah, that will be at that
yes.
20. Thank you very much.
Easy, no worries. Okay, so yeah, the kobolds, seeing that you speak its language, like, you don't want to tackle with me? I'll be favourable towards you. And those words just hold absolutely no claim over you. You can feel there's a slight tug at your mind as it's trying to do something, but
Yeah,
to no
that
avail.
is only enough to enrage me some more.
Okay, so then it sees the spell has had no effect whatsoever, and it's just looking around itself, looking pretty concerned, but it also knows if it tries to run away from you, you'll just stab it, so it's just going to stay put. That's the end of its turn. So next up is the shield bearer. Now the shield bearer sees there's a person next to it, who's next to a pit. So it's going to circle around and try and shove him in. Give me an acrobatics check, Lyroon.
Would you prefer?
Oh
the
no!
second
Oh
one?
no! Oh no! Oh no!
It rolled a natural 18.
Oh no!
Now you can use your reaction
All right.
for the fall.
Slow fall. Do monk shit.
Did you roll bless? Did you add your bless?
It's just a check. It's a check. It's
Yeah,
not a
yeah.
save.
Damn it, I keep forgetting.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. So, yeah, it just circles around here, levels that shield towards Lyroon, and just charges forward and smacks. This time, again, it smacks into your shins, but this time you haven't got the full weighty plate armor behind you. You're actually quite a lightweight elf, and you try and dance out of the way, but it's just slightly too slow, and you just teetering backwards on one foot, and he carries on moving forward, and you just start falling backwards into the pit. Now, if you want, you can use your monkish stuff to help with the fall damage.
I would like to use my reaction to reduce the damage by 25.
There we go. So you're all good. Give me a dexterity save, though, for the spinning blades.
Cool beans. I love dex saves. Is a 21 good enough?
Yes.
I can add bless.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'm just looking at this damage roll and being confused. You take a whopping what would have been 7 reduced to 3 piercing damage. That was an awful roll from the spinning blades.
Wonderful roll.
Yeah. So that's upon entering it. We'll see what happens on your turn as well. But yeah, you're in the spinning blades. You're in the pit. That's the first attack from the shield bearer. Then he.
Is he slowed?
Oh yeah,
he's
you're
slowed.
right. Yeah, so that's
Yes.
that's him. So his
So-
movement's halved as well. So 5, 10, 15. That's the best he can do. So he starts making his way towards towards Will, looking quite pleased with himself that he's managed this even in his slowed state, but
He's gonna
unable
look
to.
pleased with himself for all of 2 seconds because as Lyroon gets tipped in, Will calls out to him and like she knows what monks can do. But this stupid kobold is actually coming towards her. The helm just whips and turns to him. That's right. Make it easier for me. Come over here and get what's coming to you.
And it's your
You're
turn.
approaching me?
Yeah, you stupid kobold.
Look, you can't have JoJo references here, alright?
Oh no,
Oh, come on.
Sammy and I have started watching it now, so we do actually get them.
Yeah.
We didn't really get
okay.
a lot of it though. Good. Okay, so Will.
What is going on with that space to the west of that kobold? What's that?
It's
Okay.
looks like
It's
more
just a
like a
body.
drain. It's a drain for the blood. But yeah, on top of it, it's just a body, which is difficult terrain.
Beautiful.
But yeah,
The blood drains.
yeah, the blood drain.
Kobold might be going into the drain in a second, just so you know.
It's where you brush it's where you brush the bloodied sand. So it just pours away.
Lyrin, watch out for flying kobolds for the way.
So, is Baruch looking hurt at all?
There's a single scrape, but you know, red on red is not too visible.
Yeah, it's like 3 damage. He's all good.
Yeah. You got paper
All
cut.
about saving face with you, isn't it, Baruch? Red on
Particularly with Will, yes.
Yeah, kind of look after yourself. I'll deal with this.
Yeah, okay. Alright, I will step up. I am going to actually put myself diagonally of him.
There?
No, towards the pit.
Not there?
Because it's the pit to the east.
Oh,
Because I need to be 30 feet of Nanto.
oh, okay. Interesting. So like that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That uses 5 feet of movement, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So
Ooh.
that's good.
Lyrin?
Ooh. No,
And-
sorry, I just remembered that Nanto is awesome.
Oh, okay. Right, Will, go ahead. So you're stepping southeast 5 feet. What are you doing?
I'm going to hit him, and I'm going to use Bless if that misses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hit him, and it's gonna hurt, and he's gonna hate it.
16.
I hope he
hit?
hates it.
16 hits.
Me too.
Okay.
Give me that
I'm
damage
gonna
roll.
Smite him, and as I
Smite!
smite him, I would like to use my bonus action, raising up my shield so that the sun catches on the ivy leaves as I channel divinity
Okay.
and
Mega
use
smite.
Inspiring smite.
Ooh.
I'm so inspired right now.
I haven't seen it. I've never seen Inspiring Smite. What does that do?
No good.
So first, there's my smite damage because I have to divine smite.
Oh, I need your weapon damage as well.
Yep. Okay.
8 plus 13. Good. Okay.
All right. So that is Warhammer, bright light, shield goes up. My inspiring smite uses my bonus action, and I'm going to deal temporary hit points to my choice of creatures within 30 feet of me, including me. And the pit you said is 20 feet, so I'm hoping that that also reaches Lyra.
Yeah, it's 20 feet down. Let me just work this out. 20. Yeah, you're just about in range of Lyrene. So,
Okay.
the kobold is looking critical. We'll word it all up once at the end of your turn. You got another
So-
attack.
I do, but I'm going to go ahead and heal up myself, Nanto, and Lyroon for 5 temporary hit points each, which I think is just 5 hit points at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got another attack. Yes, how's he looking?
Critical.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's basically. Let's do it. So yeah, the warhammer comes cracking in and just whacks him across the jaw. There's like pointed dragon teeth in the kobold's mouth just come flying out of his mouth. He's like panting. He's barely on his feet, staggering, but he's determined.
Ain't that cute? I'm gonna try and hit him again.
Okay,
Hopefully I don't whiff.
that's why you're blessed.
A whiff is a fart in the UK.
Okay,
Just
I think I
FYI.
hit it.
I think 21 might hit. Yeah. Go ahead and give me a
No,
damage
thank you.
roll.
I'm glad someone had it.
And it's up to you. Do you want to smite or not? I won't announce.
How critical did he look?
So I won't announce it until. Oh well,
no,
from the
I'm
previous
not-
blow. Yeah, from the
Yeah,
previous
the
blow,
last
who's
blow.
yeah, he was critical. So when I say critical, that means they're down to the last 20% of their health. Up to
Okay,
you to decide.
Then I'm not going to smite, and hopefully that does it.
Okay, that was the correct decision. So how do you want to do this?
Hey.
Well, I know it's not medieval, but I'm just gonna say, like, lean. You know, I've raised my shield. I've healed people. Oh, that's better. And from underneath my shield, Willow's just gonna lean forward so that her face comes in. Well, her helm comes into the light a little bit, and she's just going to very quietly tell this kobold 4 before she swings her warhammer and sends him into the pit after Lyroon.
There's a golfing reference. So yeah, just cracks him across the body, and immediately, even as the warhammer blow lands, the shoulder, the bones of it, you can just hear them snapping like twigs, and then he just is tumbling through the air, tumbling into. Well, not into
Am I
into.
non-lethal since I didn't smite?
You certainly may, if you wanted
Yeah.
to. Sure.
Is he
I
not
will.
going into the
I
death
don't think
blade?
it's gonna
Yeah.
matter with the blades, but I'm gonna try.
No, you haven't got the angle to get him into the blades, so yeah, his
okay,
body
there you
just
go.
sort of flies
Oh,
this
okay.
way, and he's
I'll just non-lethal him then.
sure if that's what you want.
I'll
Okay.
lean over towards the pit, be like, Lyroon, you dead?
No, I help though, maybe.
Yeah. So Lyroon,
Oh, very badly hurt.
What? You're a monk. Just do monk stuff and get yourself out the hole.
Monster.
and so like Lyroon, you like fall back and like smack into your back, but then you just immediately start rolling around and jumping. Like the blades are just catching your feet sometimes, but mostly you're avoiding them. Monk stuff.
Can you
That's
not
what,
just
like-
climb out the hole?
No.
That's it.
Lyroon?
I wouldn't
Shit.
mind a hand.
Sansa's going to
I
lean
don't-
over
I
and
didn't
just
bring my pack into the arena. I'm just gonna have an argument with Lyroon.
Lyroon, now is
What
not
a
the
good
time to
battle.
be laying down in the middle of dark holes. We have an enemy to fight. Get out of there right now.
Nacho, how are you feeling? You able to get him out of here?
Oh, I am feeling just fine, thank you. A little famished, I believe a good old drink
Can
might
you
be-
get Lyroon out the hole?
Oh, maybe.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I don't. All right. I'm gonna start making
Yeah.
my way towards the dragon. I don't.
Okay.
I don't have any tools to help the monk out of the hole.
I really
I would
don't.
use them
there.
if I had them, but I don't.
So I'm just working out where you
Right?
started there. Yes, it's fine.
Yes, but do you carry your backpack with all of your belongings into
I
battle
definitely did not bring my backpack. Yeah, not that much towards the dragon there, DM sir. I don't.
Right there.
Yeah, I don't feel like
Oh.
being very, breathable. A little bit more north.
Oh wait, so as I say, you at the end of after his last breath attack, you can see the green emerald energy that's been
That's
flowing along
right.
his
You
length.
did say that. I apologize. Yes,
You're all
back,
good.
back on over.
Thanks,
to
darling.
the-
I mean, here's the thing. I could cast I could cast suggestion onto Lyroon to suggest that he get out of the hole, but like,
See,
Unless I fling myself in the hole and use myself as a way to block the propellers. I don't
Punch the
actually
blades.
have a way to help you.
so you can get here or here. Which do you prefer? South or west?
I'll be slightly south, and hopefully the dragon feels like coming to me.
Okay, so that's the end of Will's turn. That brings us to round 3. Believe it or not, that has been round 3. As we're averaging about half hour in a round, but that's classic for me, I'm afraid. So,
That's what it's done.
Burke, you've
Right,
got
so-
a weedy sorcerer who just tried to charm you and failed.
Yes, and that is something that Buruk does not take kindly to. So the hobgoblin would, take a half step forward, just growl at him in Draconic, saying, you don't try this trickery on me. As he swings his longsword once more at the poor sorcerer. And let's see how that goes. Once again, I will try a pushing attack should it hit. So that's going to be a 15 to hit.
That'll hit.
That's going to be 17 total slashing damage.
17.
Yes. And also a DC 15 strength.
Hey.
plus D4.
He's already dead. How do you want to do that?
And I'm afraid he does get pushed up a few feet and 10 feet backwards onto the spikes on the wall. It's not a nice sight, but there's no metal armor to stop it from being just skewered on those.
Okay, so yeah, it's just this savage thrust, and it's just he's already dead. You can tell like his organs have been mangled by the blow, and he's just rocking backward from it, flying into the spikes, and just impaled against them. And it's like the kobold body just like impaled upon the spikes and just hanging there, flops downwards, and just innards bleeding onto the ground. That's your first blow.
Yep. With that taken care of, I would have a quick look for any more kobolds. And the two that, I had taken care of, they still look very much dead, don't they? There's no trickery from that side.
No, it's just the dragon left standing now.
Excellent. In that case, I would be walking by, so 10 feet northwards and 15 east.
So, let me just count that out. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20.
Okay, so in that case, I'll take 10 more feet east.
25 30.
Yeah, and at this point, I can't exactly reach the dragon. Not even with my arsenal of spears somewhere in my backpack, but as it stands, I'm just quickly looking through all the kobolds, everything.
You are muted, by the way.
No,
Will.
you're
no, I can hear him.
Will is muted, sorry.
Oh, Will is muted.
Oh,
Oh, she might be talking to her dog or husband.
Yes, that is true.
Sorry, Bert. So you move 30 feet.
And that will be the end of my turn. I will look through the group and realize Laroon's voice is coming from down under. So he would just call out, Laroon, you okay down there?
I'll be fine!
he says as he jumps over another blade.
And
Yeah.
dodging blade.
Leaping and spinning
Yeah.
between them.
Buruk just shrugs at that. Yep, he says he'll be fine, he will.
Okay.
Hey, he said so. I trust him.
Okay, well, speaking of which, it's Lyrine's turn. So, beginning of your turn. Give me a dexterity save.
Sure, love those.
Yeah, like silver lining. If anyone was gonna fall in the pit, the best one to do it is Lyroon.
Yeah, yeah.
Me, because I could just walk back up.
That was-
Otherwise, who's good at dodging the blades is the thing.
Ignore the 1, so that's a 14.
It's 14.
If you want a picture of what it would look like if Nanto was thrown down, just go to a YouTube video of an automatic can opener.
It's really sad. I don't want to picture that.
So-
I'm really attached to Nanto.
It's that scene with Bender with the can open, actually.
Stop
Anyway,
it. No
so
Molly, no Bender, No automatic can openers. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna let it happen.
So
let it
Lyroon
happen.
smacks into the ground, propelled himself upward and started ducking and weaving out of the way of the blaze. I mean, this kind of feels like the monk training that you had back in the day. But the blaze is still spinning and there's a lot of chaos going on. And you're still ducking and weaving your way out of the way of them, but they're pretty damn vicious. You take what would have been 17 damage, it's halved. So that's 8 damage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's not too bad.
17. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So half down to 8. 16 down to 8.
Math.
Yeah, it's all good.
That's good.
Yeah. So go ahead, take your turn. You're at the
Cool.
bottom of a 20-foot pit. There's spinning blades.
Oh, 20-foot pit's fine. Now, if you said a 35-foot pit, that'd be bad.
Ooh.
So there's a whoosh of wind, and Lyroon just disappears and reappears up top. Misty Step.
Yay!
Okay. So you can reappear anywhere within 10 feet radius of where you are.
What?
At the top of the pit, I mean.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Sorry. I thought you said that Misty Step was a 10-foot. Okay.
Oh, good. I'm just wondering where you misty step to the top, so you can get to there,
to
or you
the
can
north,
get to that.
yeah, north is fine.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, so you materialize at the top. You've got your full movement, and you've still got your action.
Yeah, and pull that longbow right back out. Start firing at the dragon.
Okay, go for it. Give me 2 attack rolls.
I told you I was fine.
Yeah, Will is pumped. Just like Lyroon appears and he's already firing his arrow. She's like, "Yeah, get him! You can do it!"
Okay.
Fighting spirit. Woo!
Yeah,
Nanto's
no,
just
she's
like,
into it.
there we go. See, now isn't that so much better?
That's some nice rolls.
That is very, very nice. That's the best you could have done.
That is not a good roll, but
That
that's
is
fine.
No. So you materialize out of the top of the pit. Yeah, the first arrow loaded, loosed, and the dragon's just not expecting it, and is slowed. So yeah, the arrow just sails upward towards it, takes it square into the center of the chest, and it just digs in through the scale, and you can see there's a rivulet of green tinted blood starting running down its chest. The second,
And it has a negative 2 to AC. Does it? Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I was
yeah,
checking. I wasn't
Whoa.
sure it does. It has penalty to AC.
yeah,
So
exactly.
Does an
So
11 hit?
no,
No. Oh.
definitely not. So I think I'm good to just announce this at this point. Its AC is 18.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, it's a toughie. It's a toughie. Well, with the slow, it's 16.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so much
yeah.
better.
What
Yeah.
about my strength?
It doesn't affect.
Doesn't affect that.
It doesn't
Oh,
affect the
man.
AC.
Doesn't affect the
I
AC.
don't
It's
know
more.
what it does. I just don't. I literally don't know. I just like straight.
Yeah, if you were trying to like shove it around and things like that, it would affect that.
No,
s-
that's good because
Sorry.
when I try to shove it, that
That
will
means
help.
it's easier for you. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
If
Okay,
it's
I
on the
think that's
ground and in
good.
front of the pit,
Maybe go into the pit.
that might be
15
helpful.
feet to the left.
Okay, so yeah, just retreat 15 feet to the west. So 5, 10, 15. So hang on. Yeah, there. Okay, so yeah, just loose the first arrow, sticks firm to its chest. The second arrow comes sailing towards it, it just skitters harmlessly off its scales, and it's still like roaring and it's still angry. Doesn't seem bloodied just yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Good,
soaking up the
good, because,
damage.
you know, I have to kill it if I'm gonna beat Brooke.
Exactly. This is important.
Yeah.
The killing blow is very vital.
Yeah,
Only
I was
because
about to
that's what
comment
the
on
challenge-
that bit.
And
That's
you know what
only
would be
because that's
hilarious?
what the challenge was.
Yeah.
What would
Like,
be hilarious is
Fair.
if Nanto's the one who lands the killing blow.
right?
Well,
I
speaking of
predict
which,
it
it
now.
is Nanto's turn.
Ah, beautiful. So
Time for me to flick it to death.
Nanto is going to just kind of looking down, sees Lyroon Misty step out, and just, there we go. Thank you. I need you to take this seriously. In fact, this little guy up here, well, he's a big lizard. I know you can punch him though, and I'm going to inspire Lyroon.
Noise.
Inspired to punch.
Yep.
I'm also not gonna punch. I'm just gonna use my longbow from this distance.
That's fine.
Yeah. So that's your bonus action. What about your action?
So
Aw.
that is.
Look at the puppy.
There we go. So I have 0 inspires left. So then, for my action, well, I'm currently concentrating on slow, so I can't do anything else with that. Instead, I'm just going to try and make this flying lizard's life a bit more miserable.
Thank you.
In fact, I'm going to viciously mock him
Oh no.
Goodness.
Mock the dragon.
Yes.
Make sure you speak in common. He doesn't understand anything else other than that in Draconian.
Yep. And I'm going to yell up at him. This is going to be an inadvertent mockery. Because Nanto is just going to say, "Alright, now listen up here, you big lizard you. You've been playing a bit too rough, and I'm going to have to ask you to stop." He's putting his hands on his hips.
And so you just hear this belt,
That's
this
important.
booming,
Yeah.
slowed voice that's, it's several octaves lower than how it started, but it's replies in common. I will consume your innards. Yeah, it's utterly unaffected. 16 on the save.
Spill them when we turn you into purses and boots.
He's going to, "Oh, no thank you. I need those on the inside. Now, if you'll excuse me, whoop, and I'd like to run south behind the pillar, past Baroque.
Okay, let me just move you.
Likely kind of
10.
turning like this, like, trying to get out of the
15,
way.
20, 25. 30. So it's double movement to move through Burke, but you can get to there with 30 foot.
That is behind a pillar, right?
Oh, wait. Yeah, you can get to there. That's fine.
Yeah, right there.
Cool. Okay, so that brings us to the dragon's turn. It's got several people to bother with now. It's still only got 40 feet of movement because of slow.
Yep.
And it can only make one attack. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
He wants me.
He wants you for multiple reasons. You did just insult him, but also you've got a slow spell on him. So yeah, those wings start beating on the air, and he starts gliding downwards towards you, sailing through the air, landing, not quite landing, but just sort of awkwardly like on top of that wall, and just a claw comes reaching over to try and tear you apart. Just the one attack.
Yep.
Let's see how this
But
goes.
imagine an action of a cat as it tries to pull out something.
Yeah, exactly. What's your AC?
11.
Oh yeah, that definitely hits. I always forget your AC is 11.
I have 43 health though, so
Yeah. Sorry. That shouldn't have said claw. So it lands with its claws on top of that concrete block, and then its long neck just snakes forward, and its head just comes over the edge and just clamps down onto your upper half. Roll me a Constitution save to see if
how
you
much
get.
damage?
Yeah, I'm rolling it now. 24 piercing plus. What would have been 10 poison damage, but you have resistance, so 5.
Oh no!
24?
Yeah, it got a nat. I'll show you the roll. Hang on.
No, don't show us the roll. Let's move on. But ow!
Yeah, it's
I think I'm... Oh, what the hell?
yeah, it was as bad as it could possibly get.
On
So
2 d10s, he got 2 10s.
yeah, exactly. With a +4.
1 HP.
So yeah, this like maw comes snaking over the rock and just clamps down in your body, and you can feel the teeth sinking in and just trying to yank you apart. And there's just about enough innards to hold you together, but you are in desperate need of a visit to the blacksmith.
Oh my lord.
The lights of Nanto's eyes are beginning to dim.
No! I don't
But-
want it!
But the good news is, because of slow. Well, actually, do you maintain concentration? I should ask.
No, but oh.
Oh, how does it work? Does the minute slow end? Do you then get to take the rest of your multi attack? I'm pretty sure you. I'm pretty
I
sure you
mean-
do.
There's no raw rules. I
I
think
can-
that's up to you, but
Yeah, I can give my opinion.
Yeah. So I think slow then comes to an end. So it just comes snapping down, crunches through your innards, and then it just suddenly starts speeding up into normal motion. Let's see what happens.
You might as well not roll. I mean, we can just
Yeah.
say Nanto's out.
Yeah, the claws come raking
my
forward
God.
and just smash into Nanto's body. And he just goes tumbling to the ground, little more than parts at this point, and just rolling across,
no!
unconscious,
No, my
unmoving.
hands doesn't work on you.
I was gonna say, how does it work with Nanto? Can we force a healing potion?
Yeah, you can still healing. Yeah, you just pour it on him, and it's just sort of like lubricant, and it's all good. So then he turns, not like that, you dirty people. That's
lubricant.
it's a robot term. Anyway, he turns.
Okay.
Then he turns with the.
Giving him a good oiling.
Where after taking out the insulter and satisfied with his efforts, he turns his attention to Buruk, standing beside him, and a set of fearsome claws come breaking towards him. So you can do. Let me just double check, but yeah, you can do 3 attacks: 1 with his bite, 2 with his claws. 25 definitely hits. So the claws do. So yeah, so he's bitten down on Nanto, tossed him aside with his claws, and then turns to Buruk and comes savaging down with those claws, raking across his body. 12 piercing damage to Buruk, and just raking through the chainmail armor, opening a few bloody rents in his body. But that is the end of the dragon's turn.
One quick question. When Nanto falls, do we lose the 10 HP he had granted?
No, it's not a spell.
You're all good.
Excellent. In that case, it but a scratch.
So, essentially, the only thing that is heard is pretty much an "oh no," and then just crunching. And as his body falls down, his eyes are there are no eyes. There is no light.
Oh, ravenous.
I hate this so
He's
much.
just no more than a metal doll on the floor.
Oh no! Okay,
It's like eating cereal, except it's like nuts and bolts instead of like
Just
grain.
compare me to cereal?
Mm-hmm.
Whose turn is it?
Bitch, I better at
Yeah,
least be
ravenous.
one of the Cheerios. Like,
So Ravenous is like.
That's actually the cereal I was thinking of. Not gonna lie.
So ravenous.
I'm very upset by this, and she's like, Nanto, no! She does like half her movement towards the dragon.
Oh, okay.
And because she's not thinking properly. She's like, no! And she just runs in. And then she'll just let off 2 Eldritch Blasts. So that's all she can kind of do.
Got no slots left. Warlock life.
Yeah, exactly, right?
it is still hexed.
It is
So
still
that's
hexed.
20
20
to
hits. Yeah. Its AC's back up to 18 as well, by the way, now.
Ooh. 14 damage
Plus.
plus 3.
Nice.
What's the distance between me and the dragon?
So that's another 27
we'll get to that.
hit now.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
With
Still-
damage on.
Still waiting for that
9.
nat 20 though. It's usually you're pumping
Not
out the
one
nat
yet.
20s,
No,
Ravenous.
exactly. And then 4 plus damage to the 9.
Okay, so in total, the dragon has taken 75 damage, is now bloodied. So yeah, these another pair of meteorites summon into Ravenous's hands as she's like, Nanto, no, and just running forward. The 2 meteorites just punch it into its rear as it's like bearing down on Buruk, burning a pair of black smoky holes into its flesh. A couple gouts of green splattered blood fly outwards to stain the sands, but it's bloodied. It's starting to slow, not from magic but from actual wounds, but it's still very much dangerous and on its feet. Okay, next up is Will.
So, he is large. Yeah? He's
Yeah.
dimension squares.
He is Lord.
He is large, so he's 10 feet to a side.
He is large and smug.
So, I can grapple him.
You can certainly try.
Okay.
You gonna try and throw a dragon into the pit?
I'm thinking about it, but I don't
As
know
long
if I
as
can-
Will doesn't join him.
Yeah.
No, it would be like a reverse suplex.
Yeah, we might need to clip his wings before we throw
Hang on,
him
hang
into the
on.
pit.
He's got
So,
quite a few holes in there.
can I get to the spot directly north of Buruk?
Oh, okay. So hang on. 5,
Can I
10, 15,
squeeze
20,
past-
25.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 25 feet. So it's double movement to move through Ravenous space, but yeah, 25 feet of movement gets you here.
Okay. I'm gonna try and grapple him.
Okay. So it's acrobatics or athletics for him to save on. Let me just double check. Yeah, he doesn't have proficiency in athletics, so it's just his strength. Interesting.
Which is disadvantage at the moment.
DC 22.
True. Is that
And that is why you pick a specific stat for your Hex, Ravenous.
Yes!
He gets a 10. It would have been a nat 20.
Ooh!
And that
Thank
is...
you, Ravenous.
So, yeah, how are you describing this? Go for it.
So I see Lyroon go down, and I don't even
No,
say
Nanto.
anything because Nanto, I apologize. Because Will only speaks when she feels it's important. So, just with a deadly silence, her warhammer placed back on her back, she lumbers forward, and she doesn't even say a damn thing to this dragon. That art
Fire in her
he
eyes.
has like a little
Like,
a
gorge.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So I would like to just reach up, place her hand like on that, and hook him into a headlock because of it. And now I would like to attempt to get him into some forced movement and throw him in that hole.
Okay.
And so as she's got him under her headlock, she uses her other arm to bring it over and grab those like antler horns and just try and hoist him directly into that pit.
Dost thou even hoist?
Verily.
Okay.
Apparently, sir.
So I must admit, grappled force movement isn't one I come across terribly often. So give me a moment, unless you guys know it off by heart.
Double movement.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So it's you've moved 25 feet to get to where you are. You grappled it. You can move it about 5 feet, so you can get it towards you. Certainly. It's one of your attack actions to grapple it. Is that right? So you've still got another attack action. But yeah, you can't quite toss it in the pit, but it's grappled. Your next turn, you'll be able to toss it into the pit.
Okay. So if I have 5 feet of
Can you-
movement left, I'm gonna move.
Can you move it away from Nanto?
Yeah,
That's what I want to
you
try
can
and
you
do.
can
I'd
do
like
that.
to
Yeah, I'll
move-
allow that.
Yeah,
So,
and
yeah.
get me north of it if that's possible. But if I don't have enough movement, then I'll just move a square north.
Yeah, you can drag
So I
it
use-
with you. Yeah, exactly. So basically, I grab hold of its gullet and then dragging it forward back with you away from Nanto's broken body and just vaguely towards the pit. You've got a plan in mind for what you're going to do next.
And let's weaken it slightly because I have another attack that I can use. So
Yeah, we'll switch it around. You attack first, then grapple. That probably makes a bit more sense.
well, I specifically didn't attack first because if I missed, I wanted to try and do it again.
Yeah.
But
just-
as I have it, do I get advantage for attacking something that I'm grappling?
That's
Nah, it's
restrained.
restrained. Yeah. So
Okay, never mind that.
but yeah, go
Just
ahead
a-
and make an attack roll.
Yeah, that's
14,
14 to hit, so
plus.
Oh, plus.
If you get a 4, you'll hit. Nah. So yeah, the warhammer comes swinging in. It just rebounds harmlessly off the scales, no problem.
Yeah, that's
But-
fine. I'm grappling a
Yeah,
dragon. I'm
yeah, you're dragging it towards the pit. It's very unhappy about its circumstance, if nothing else because it can't fly away at will. And actually, that's a
Or
good
with Will.
or with
Yeah.
will.
I was trying to
And
think of
also,
a joke.
yeah, you don't see that emerald energy coalescing again. So once again, it's failed to resummon the breath
That's good.
attack. So that brings us to the end of Will's turn. Unless there's anything else. All good.
I have a bonus action.
Dunno.
Bonus action, thunderous smite, just in case.
I think you'd have to hit.
No,
No,
so you
it's
cast it,
concentration.
and at that time you hit.
Oh,
once.
yeah. So you can do that in preparation for your next hit. Certainly.
Yeah, so if he hits me, I might lose concentration. But Will's angry.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
There's gonna be some thunder ringing off of her armor while she's
Yeah.
hoisting this thing towards the pit.
So there's a boom, 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 boom. This is like thunderous energy ringing through the plate metal arm of her grandmother. Ready. Round 4. Burke.
Right, so given hobgoblins are not exactly the best engineers around, all he could do when seeing Nanto fall is just sigh and just call out, Maroon, can you help Nanto? I don't have much. And with that, he spots what he'd never imagined seeing. Someone putting a dragon in a headlock. Well, seeing that, he steps forward. Well, keep
And
it
he goes,
right
No,
there.
I've seen everything.
As,
I got
as
it, buddy.
Yep. And given its neck is fully exposed, I'm going to try and slash down.
Okay,
Ooh, nice.
good work. All right, so yeah, just almost the neck's been pinned in position, ready for the longsword to come swinging in. Let's see how you do.
It's going to be awful, isn't it?
No.
Fingers crossed.
19 hits. 19 hits. Do you use a maneuver?
I do use a
Of course you do.
Yup,
Yeah,
Battle
it's-
Master.
So I am going to put it. Where was the proper name of it? Yeah, maneuvering attack.
Oh,
So
maneuvering.
any creature I can see or hear, which in this case would be Will, can use their reaction to move up to half its speed without provoking.
Oh my god. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Yes, that is beautiful teamwork. Yeah, so
Maneuvering!
yeah, so that will allow her to toss the dragon into the pit.
Okay, I'm
Oh
actually a
my
massive
God.
fan of wrestling. So as Brooke, what do you do? How do you get this to happen?
So
Can you
as it
yeah,
happens,
describe it?
you know, when I take my sword, I am swinging it from the underside on the neck, and it just gives you that little push of that whole draconic body over and into the pit.
Nice. So as she's struggling to pull this dragon, oh, you're fatter than you look, and that's pretty fat already.
We'll
Baruch
fix
comes
that
over,
soonish.
wields his strength. She just reaches out for a very light little kunk of her knuckle as she tags in and tries to flip this damn dragon into the blender, falling like with her shoulders right at the rim of it as she releases it and hopes that this dragon is going to just plummet towards the blades.
I absolutely love this. This is
I
wonderful.
love this.
Yeah, that is some of the best team play I've seen in a while. Okay, Brute, you still have your second attack. I'll allow you to take that as it falls.
Oh.
Yeah, I think I will just flick one of the daggers from my belt just downwards to see where it goes.
Okay.
Make sure he stays down.
No, just to be certain.
Plus bless, which is an auto hit. So yeah, with
Yes,
17 to hit
but-
plus bless. So let's see. Yeah,
Yeah.
3. So
Hit for 5.
so yeah, let's hang on. I just need to roll its deck save. The suplexed dragon.
Actually suplex the dragon.
I can't believe we're
Well,
killing
time
a
to draw
dragon
what
by
happens.
throwing him.
We're throwing the dragon into the pit.
He hurt Nanto!
Pretty
That-
bad, I might add.
Nat 2 on the deck save.
Oh!
Let's roll the
That's what you
damage.
get.
16 damage. Okay, so and then the dagger was how much? Sorry.
5 damage, so a total of 20 from me before anything that happened in the pit.
Okay, so yeah, there's this initial long sword sweep, just trying to hack at the neck. It's under stroke, like upwards, and it's just enough like weight given off of the dragon that Will can just lift the dragon, sort of suplex it backwards overhead, tossing it into the pit, and it starts tumbling downward through the air, roaring and enraged at the indignity of it, really. And yeah, it just slams into the blender. There's absolutely no dexterity there. There's no attempt to dodge out of it way. It's just wings are just getting sliced apart by the blender at the bottom. There's absolutely horrible sounds emerging from it, and there's blood spraying outward. Kind of like,
Horrible, satisfying. I guess that depends on perspective.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, when you get like a food mixer, but you don't put the lid on, and it's just blood spraying out the top. Burke just like watching the blood, it's spraying over his face. He doesn't even care. He just tosses a dagger down just to add to it.
It's red on red. It's fine.
Yeah, so as that happens, I would look to Will and say, well, I don't think neither of us will win the trophy after that happened.
Cool! This means that both of us win. Provided Nanto's okay.
But it's not dead yet.
Right, Nanto, Laroon?
Right.
So it is. So after that, with the blending and the dagger and the sword and everything else, is in a critical state. It's like weakening. The roaring is coming in a weaker tone. It's no longer at those 4 octaves lower from the slow effects. It's actually creeped up 1 octave. Like, it's just struggling in agony as it's being carved apart by that whoop, whoop, whoop. It's horrible noises.
Oh.
I don't.
For the dragon?
She just loves animals in all shapes and forms.
I feel bad
It's
now.
not. It's not an animal. It's intelligent. It's smarter than most people. It knows it's evil and it loves it.
Okay, so Lyroon, you're up. I'm just gonna go loot while you work it out.
Lyroon runs over with not just superhuman speed, but super elven alacrity, and runs and runs forward, like kneeling into the sandy dirt, and just kind of like scoops him together, the various parts, and just like scoops, like pushes him back together, and focuses on getting that spark of life back. And we'll spend another key point because things are way less efficient if I don't have an enemy to punch.
Yeah, so it's scooping in the innards, and there's like cogs, there's pieces of metal, machinery, and with that key energy summoning, they just sort of seem to slot themselves back into their correct places. So they're just finding the correct grooves, and you can just actually see them. And not many of you actually have seen Nanto's even outer plate, let alone his innards. I think Burke actually is the only one who's seen his naked outer body. That sounds weird to say, but when he was at the blacksmith getting repaired, you got to look at some of the holes getting repaired. But here you can see it. The clothes are torn to ribbons. You can see those innards are just torn open. You have no doubt now that this is a machine. If you didn't before, which you definitely didn't. Anyway, here he is.
I mean, Will had questions, but
Yeah.
I have returned.
they've
Excellent.
been answered.
So yeah,
What did I miss?
so Lyroon's just scooping inside the innards, putting the cogs and wheels, roughly putting them into place, and then that key energy being summoned, and they just seem to find naturally slot into place. There is no doubt now in Lyroon's mind that this is a machine, not a man, but I don't think there was much doubt anyway. And they just sort of slot into place, and you just see the cogs starting to whir, and the light blossoms back into Nanto's eyes. What do you say, Nanto?
Like blink, like ding 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 ding.
Oh wait, so you can see so basically you could see inside of Nanto then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we
Ah,
saw
might I
everything.
describe something?
Go for it,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's well
Alrighty.
timed.
On the inside, as you kind of get closer and see that the cage has been torn asunder, his normal bright clothing and wonderful, metal body. On the inside, now that he has been thoroughly excavated, there is what looks to be some kind of glowing, almost like natural nature core that is just sitting inside of him.
So you're basically Iron Man.
There's like tree root like outcroppings that go, and you can see they kind of branch out into the rest of Nanto. And the glow was dimming, and as you heal him, it seems to become more and more vibrant, kind of sealing up the holes with fresh vines and such from the inside.
Really cool.
You gain 8 health.
Yay! And his eyes
Not
just kind of like fuzzy at first and just zing, 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 zing.
And the first words that Nanto hears as he comes back to consciousness is, No, don't you die on me.
Nanto! Nanto, are you okay?
Oh, what happened? Oh, did I take a nap? I'm sorry
Yes.
about that.
No, sorry? What? Says nothing.
Yeah, and whatever words that might have come out afterwards are just drowned out by this wailing roar of pain from a dragon being blended in the center of the arena.
And the rest of my movement, I'd like to hop over the pillar and do whatever types of movement, because I have an extra 40 foot of movement, and go to the left of Brooke.
Yeah, you can easily do that. Okay, so you're just in position.
One more.
Oh, one more. Okay. Yeah, you can reach out. So you're just in position, ready for if and when the dragon's able to get itself out of the pit. But as you know, at the start of your turn, there is also a blender damage. So that is the end of your turn, I assume, Lyrene.
Yes.
Nanto.
I mean, if you give me an extra attack, I'll use it.
No. Nanto, you're up. So you're prone, but you're awake.
You're alive!
He is going to just... Wait, oh, is that big lizard still down there?
Yes.
There is. Yeah, there are.
Oh, I know what would be the best way to finish this.
Will diving in after it. Yeah.
Mock it to death.
No. More meat grinder.
I know. Nanto would like to walk over to the edge and just kind of like, oh, wait, oh, I remember what happened now. Oh, that was very rude. Hold on, I need to give you a good scolding. And he's going to hurry on over to the side. And I would like to cast Cloud of Daggers on him.
I knew it!
Oh
Did
my
I not
god.
call- Hang on, did I not call that Nanto would get the finishing blow?
Yeah, you did. You really did.
Okay.
And no one took you seriously, but there you are. Okay, so that doesn't take effect until the start of its turn, so we'll see what happens.
So cast Cloud of Daggers.
Okay, so
Because
it's
I believe that it's now the dragon's turn.
possibly so.
I'm gonna do cast suggestion just to spend the spell slot.
Yeah.
but I am
It's
casting Cloud of Daggers.
it's just struggles. So you always use what's in the local environment. In this case, you have sand, which can be reformed into glass. So yeah, the sand starts pouring out of the arena and just coalescing into these viciously sharp shards of glass. And it just starts
Nanto is
swinging
going
forward.
to be standing over the edge, and I like to imagine that he barely recognizes he's casting a spell. He's just going to, now listen here, you. That was very rude. It is very bad manners to slice and dice at those who you would call partygoers. I mean, we're here to have a great time, and I am none too plussed at all. None plussed at all. And then all of this sandy glass just starts whirling around.
Okay, so
Oh, man.
And if I can, I'd like to step away from the edge just a little bit.
yeah,
I think I
that's
should have a
absolutely
little bit of
fine.
movement left.
Yeah, you do absolutely. So you in fact, you started. Sorry, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 phase. You can get to there, or you can even get to down here if you prefer.
Oh, I was prone, so I would have had to
Oh,
stand up.
shoot, you're absolutely right.
So I
So
could only make
5,
it to
10,
the edge.
15. So yeah, you basically. I'll allow it.
Would I be
you
able to go
basically-
to the left there?
Yeah, you're basically there. So you're good. So you step forward,
And I
awkwardly make your
can't
pass
step back.
bit.
Let's go!
You let loose these shards of glass that materialize out of sand, start it's slicing the dragon. It's roaring in pain already from the blender, and it becomes. I think now it is the start of the dragon's turn. It is indeed. So it starts with its dexterity save versus the blender trap, which I've already rolled, which is so it passes. So it's launches it finally. Flaps its wings and manages to bring itself most of the way out of the blender trap. Its tail gets caught and the actual end of it gets chopped clean off. And you just see this splurt of blood, this green tinted blood spraying out of its end, and it's roaring in
Am I
agony.
the
But
only one who thinks this is sad?
yes,
Yes. Dirty dragon.
yes,
It is
just
not sad.
it's a vicious beast. It's not a friendly one.
It's
So
a puppy.
no. So anyway, it starts beating its wings, trying to flap out of the way, and then Nanto's dagger, cloud of daggers takes effect. So let's have that.
6 damage.
6
Not a great
damage.
roll.
6 damage. There's no save, is there? It just is.
No save.
save.
It's just if it's in there when it starts its turn, boom.
So it survives.
Ah!
So these freshly formed shards of glass are slicing across its body as rivulets. It is covered in this green tinted blood now. It's almost more covered than not. Like scales are just covered in this green sludge, and it's just just beating these wings, rising out of the pit, and it is pissed.
It better
Bring
be.
it.
And it
Does
is.
it have a breath attack ready?
It doesn't. I don't think
Hasn't been able to
hasn't
go
had a turn since. Yeah, so it will regenerate at the end of this turn. Let's see what happens. But at the minute, no breath attack ready. So, rises out of the pit. It's only got its bite and claws ready though. And it sees Nanto. It sees Nanto is upright. And there's this briefest moment of confusion.
Yeah. Can't you attack with when it comes into range?
Yes, I was asking, does he enter my melee range?
He does. Go ahead.
Yep.
Yes!
I would like to use Brace to try and bring him back down, just in case.
This is going to be so clutch. Oh
It's
my
going
god!
to be
If there was ever a moment getting that 20, my gosh, it was when the dragon was trying to take vengeance. It's doubled for your superiority dice, by the way.
Oh my god.
We're just double free apparently. So you deal.
Hey, Will, guess what? You lose.
Yeah, you lost.
Oh.
So, Burke, how do you want to do this?
Right, so the moment the dragon starts flapping, roaring in rage, pain, everything it has, its head finally reaches not quite our eye level, but enough to peek out. And Brooke just, steps forwards and brings his sword down with both hands with full force into that very head, cracking that skull. And just to make sure that everything goes well, it is a pushing attack to send it back down to the bottom of the pit.
And into the glass blades.
Just
Back
add
into the daggers.
back into the blender.
Into the blender.
No, not into the pit. It burns.
No, not into the pit. It
Oh,
burns.
Will is going to be so mad. It's perfect.
Oh no, Will.
27 damage.
Man, I'm good. That was a fantastic moment, and I'm still drawing.
Also, I
it.
think Will is more concerned with the fact that Nanto's now up, and she's just happy with that.
Yeah. So the dragon flaps its way up, right, roaring in pain. Like it's weakened, but it's still very determined. That mouth is already open, ready to chomp down. It locks eyes upon Nanto, sees he's up, and there's malicious intent there. He's intending to tear him apart again, and just as it starts snapping forward, Burke thrusts forward with his blade,
Nah.
and it's just sent tumbling backwards.
Nah, mate.
Instantaneously, it's just this vicious thrust. It's sent tumbling backwards into the blender, carved apart, and you can hear this initial like, and already it's starting. It actually cuts off even before it reaches the blender, and cuts off just as the blade enters his mouth, just as Burke's pulling it. He doesn't even.
This is a dragon. It's smarter than most people.
It's an
It
animal.
knows what it's doing.
It's not-
conscious. It's coherent.
Yeah.
It's evil. It's
Raven-
chaotic evil.
So if it helps Sammy, they can take on like a humanic shape. Like they're not like.
Okay, let's pretend it was human looking this whole
Yeah,
time.
no, that doesn't work. But it's human that can be
Oh.
pretend it's a human that can be a dragon. Anyway, so the blade just shoves into its body, and it's already like cutting out, like it's raw, like, and it's just fly. Brooke doesn't even need to draw the blade back out of its body. It's falling back off his blade and back into the pit. Its claws that have been clawing at the stone scratch away, and it just falls backwards into the blender and just starts carving it up, blending it, and it just sprays the blood out of the arena. And finally, at very, very long last, the dragon is defeated. And you hear the crowd go absolutely mental. Something like that, but times 10.
Like to roll over and immediately dash to Nanto, like pull his parts towards him and like make sure that he's Nanto, and like try and see his glowing eyes.
Hi.
Oh, you stupid, clumsy. What were you doing getting jumped? And she's just gonna reach out and pull him really, really tightly and hug him close. And there's like a scrape of damage to Nanto against scratched armor, and like you met Will yesterday,
Yeah.
you know. But she's obviously very happy that you're okay.
That's 9 hugging damage.
And I'm down.
Nanto falls unconscious, his lights blink out, and everyone's sad.
No, he will just kind of like, oh, just kind of surprised, and then just like pat Will on the back, like, there, everything's fine. I just took a quick nap in the middle of things. Sorry about that. That doesn't happen that often.
No, I'm sorry. Hell's just let's go of Nanto.
Oh.
There's just blood spraying
I'm so
out.
glad you're all right.
Oh my god,
I
this
just-
is. Go on.
No. You.
I was saying, there, as Sam pointed out, there is actively blood spurting out from the tunnel, from the pit beside us as we're having a touching moment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like Will
Yeah.
had landed with her shoulders on the rim of this thing. She's fairly washed with her own blood and the dragon's. Luckily, though, she wears a Spartan-style red cloak.
Red on red.
Camouflaged, one might say.
And speaking of red, I would like to walk up to Baruch next. If nobody's got something that they want to do ASAP.
Not at this moment, no.
Just as a prank, bro, can I push Will into the pit?
You can
No.
certainly try.
Oh, you can try.
I
No,
do
no,
walk-
oh my god, no.
Try.
I do walk up to Baruch.
Yeah, so he's standing there, the sword lowered, and just mumbles under his breath in Draconic. I told there was no money on our heads.
I reach out, I grab hold of his arm, and I raise it up to the crowd.
Oh,
And the crowd goes,
I think you'll find the crowd goes.
rubbish! That was not loud enough.
Oh, you can have a.
Point.
No!
That's what we needed when the dragon hit the blender.
Yeah.
Just like a ooh.
You're like, oh no.
No, I have got a
Yeah,
victory
no,
button, but yeah.
Point at Baruch, and I'm like, this guy. You know, hold his arm up. Yeah.
And
Clap him
he
on
just
the-
looks genuinely elated. You know, it's one thing to, be an adventurer, get gold and everything. He's not exactly used to crowds cheering for him.
Yeah. I mean, actually, that's a really good point, actually. As a hobgoblin, this is probably actually the first time you've ever had a crowd genuinely cheer for you and genuinely think, yeah, well of you. Like, beyond just being like, yeah, he's just a combatant. He's actually a hero. That there's fans. There's fans out there genuinely calling for you. Thanks. Yeah.
Brooke.
Yeah, you've been in Daggerfall long enough. There's one or two people who start going Brut, and it starts to call out in the crowd. This gradually gathering
Joins in.
voice. Yeah, exactly. If you guys are joining in, then the whole crowd starts chanting Brut. Particularly if Will's doing it.
I will definitely join in to support my friend.
There you
You
go.
deserve it, big guy.
Baruch! Baruch! Woo! And I'd like to create sparkles. Which has to be-
Yay! My favorite.
Okay, so what's Lyroon doing?
Lyroon is not doing much. Looking around, making sure that everyone is good, everyone is stable enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my eyebrows don't hurt.
It's the only part. Yeah, I mean, your companions are bloodied, but yeah, they're not dead.
Yeah,
We'll live.
That's true.
yeah. So everyone will live except for the dragon, who is very dead. Look over towards the two royals. What do they think?
Good question.
Really good point, actually. I had meant to do their blow by blow scenes, but I was far too absorbed in the battle. So,
How dare
Beatrice.
you? I require a new DM.
I humbly take over.
Alright, Sammy, get in here. Switch
Yeah.
seats.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
So,
Alright,
Beach.
Sammy gets the main computer, and Sam gets the work laptop.
Oh, God.
We got all to
Yeah.
be the DMs.
So, Beatrice, the daughter, she is looking ecstatic. She's like on her feet, her hands are in the air. She's not acting in any means as a noble. She's just like, yeah! and just screaming away. The Duchess, Morin of Daggerford, she's like looking to her daughter, like is about 10% aghast, but then she's looking back to the battle and is like about 90% just actually quite enjoyed it. But you see, she's trying to like restrain herself slightly. And it's more like a dignified response, and she just like raises her hand. She actually stands
Oh.
and claps politely.
She gives us a nice clappy clap.
And you get the polite
Standing
clap.
ovation.
Yeah, you get a standing polite ovation from the
That is
Duchess.
a lot.
The
Yeah.
smallest of claps.
I would like one clap, please.
You get 1.7 claps. So meanwhile, the fan, Dorif, the super fan.
Oh, please! I was hoping you'd forget he existed.
Yes.
Oh, he is beyond ecstatic. He is leaping into the air. He's whooping. He's chanting. Even though everyone else is chanting Burke, he is chanting Ravenous as loud as he can. He is ecstatic. Not only is he going to get to go on a date, but he's going to get to go on a date with an arena winner. Someone who just slayed a dragon. Yeah, he is on cloud 9.
If that means he's going on a date with Baruch, that's fine.
No, no.
I mean, you know, you helped.
I
Yeah,
helped, I
you would-
just didn't, Baruch slayed the dragon.
Yeah.
He wants to be
No,
out
I
with
tell
the
you
dragon
what,
slayer.
when you took that dragon breath full to the face, that could have been anybody else. That was extremely helpful. Thank you.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Very much so.
True. I
Exactly.
mean, I'm glad my thievery could help.
Oh yeah, so I mean, you know, the rest of you, you watch that happen. Probably because I don't think Ravenous, you've actually explained the nature of your necklace. The extent that others have
No,
seen
it's
is that you
not.
didn't get drunk.
No, I
Lyroon
think
knows because
Lyroon
Lyroon,
knows,
yeah.
Yeah, Lyroon was there, so
Okay.
Lyroon knows. But Will, Nanto, Bert, she just seems to be
I have an
superhuman.
idea now.
Yeah, you can believe that was
Some
beyond the limits of this relatively weedy tiefling. But yeah, the crowd's going wild. The dragon is slain. You see Liliana start to walk out. There's the arena owner. She's in her fur-trimmed. This gnome who's in her fur-trimmed robes with the heavy ruby necklace at her neck that Ravenous is always entranced by. She starts to walk out of the eastern entrance, the same one that you guys came out of, and she has 5 weighty bags of gold in hand, already ready to parcel out. And she just comes out towards you. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. Hi, boss.
Hi, boss. And she's just grinning. She's happy, and she's like, "It's about what I expected." For yeah, you lived up, you know. And I think that was more entertaining than what the dalliances would have given up.
Whoa, 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 hold on. Lived up?
Yeah.
These guys killed it. Are you kidding me?
Ooh,
Showed
are those
me up?
those
Deserve
party
every
favors?
coin in those bags.
And
Well,
she
I must say, I've never seen a dragon headlocked and suplexed into a pit. Always
Yeah.
a first time for something.
you haven't hung around enough long with Will. And she just starts handing out the
That's
pouches of
true.
gold to each of you. Each receive 180 gold pieces.
Nice.
It's pretty good payment.
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's the best single payment I think you've had, or actual payment rather than stolen payment. So so yeah,
Everything I stole, Nanto now has, technically.
yeah, it's all
True.
It's all
Except-
him.
Wander it into a Bandor.
I
except,
did.
except for the jewels. So she hands all of it out. The crowd's going wild. You defeated the dragon. Now you got the rest of the day ahead of you still.
Well, we
You
have
got-
a contact at 12.
You got a contact at 12. Is there anything else you want to do before you leave the arena?
I'm gonna lay on hands a lot.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'm going to I have 2 more key points left. So hey, Nanto, just cause you get
How's Lyroon looking?
12. Lyroon is half, a little over half.
How's Burke looking?
Just to check, will we have a short rest before any other mess we might get into?
So-
Assuming we don't do anything between now and noon.
Based on your
Good point.
plans,
Yeah, we should short
Yeah.
rest as well.
based on your plans, actually, you don't have anything else between now and noon. It's about 10:15, so you got over an hour, plenty enough time for a short rest.
Excellent.
Yeah, so you guys are good to use your hit dice and all the rest of it.
I want to check with Nanto when we're not doing other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
We'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, so yeah, you're
Great.
anything else in the arena on the sands with the blender going, the gold bags of gold in your hand, with the crowds going wild.
Oh, I do
We'll
love
be
a-
taking several bows around the place. One went obviously to the Duchess and the daughter, and
Mhm.
just few in general directions, really.
Okay, so Burke's just
Scintillating experience, really.
Burke's systematically bowing to the crowd and making sure that the royalty get one. Nante, you were going to say something. Sorry.
Yeah, oh, he's going to look inside his pouch and be like, "Oh, I do love a good goodie bag. Oh, I wonder what I got. Oh, it's coins. Oh, what did you get?" He's going to look to Lyroon.
Oh, also coins, Nanto.
Oh, well, what did you get in your goodie bag?
I open my bag and I take a glance at roughly how many coins they are. How many did you say they were?
180,
180.
which is
Yep.
the best payment you'd have had fighting the arena.
Best payment I've
So-
ever had?
Yeah, this was a fight intended for the dalliances.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh,
Ah.
it's actually a lot more gold than I thought I'd get. Also
Yeah.
coins. Nanto.
Nanto kind of like, "Oh, really? Are you sure about that?"
I open my bag and I show him.
He's going to turn back to the one in charge of this arena and just, "Oh, I'm sorry, are you aware that all of your goodie bags contain the same gift?"
Well, that's rather deliberate, Nanto. I think you wouldn't like it if you got different rewards, would you?
Oh, well, that's part of the fun of a goodie bag. You never know what's inside. It's okay, you'll learn for next time.
Ravenous, taking a look into her goodie bag, kind of looks in and goes, "These are just these weird golden discs. Ugh. Guys, who wants my goodie bag?"
Whoa, hold on.
And she hands it out for everybody to share.
Ugh.
Oh,
Ravenous, no, I don't deserve it. And Will is gonna do kind of like the bare minimum for the crowd because, they came here to watch us fight. They deserve it. Waves, and then is ready to head out. Not very happy with her performance. I'll catch up with you guys later, huh?
Oh, where are
yeah,
you going?
Why don't you come along and find out?
Oh, I would love to.
I think we're going to a bar. But either way, yeah, my everybody split your my
How
money.
much is that? Give me a number.
45 each.
Will
There
is
you go.
very much not taking the money from Ravenous.
Ravenous will ask Lyroon to sneakily sneak it into her pouch at some point later on. But that's outside the point.
That wouldn't be the first time a rogue gave me money. I feel like it works the other way around with Will somehow.
So yeah, it would be 45 gold pieces each, assuming that Lyron's able to sneak Will's fair share in. If he's not, then it would be 60 gold pieces each. But I think we'll assume that Lyron is capable of it.
We'll assume the sneak happens.
We'll assume the sneak happens. So yeah, you each take 180 plus 45, so that's...
Yeah, we
225
we've done it,
each.
don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. So 225 each that you receive. So with that, you start making your way out of the arena. The crowd's going wild for you, and there's already some attendants starting to work their way outwards. And interestingly, they're just pushing the various kobold bodies into that central blender.
Oh no! Hey! One of them is still alive, man. Not cool.
Yeah, and you know, the minute that you start calling out that one of them still alive, like, oh.
Oh, shit.
It's just
Like
awkward.
Will is fairly notorious for using non-lethal whenever possible. Kobolds, they're barely people, but
Yeah.
they get non-lethal.
Excuse me.
No, like dragon worshipping kobolds that are trying to kill you. They're almost dragons.
They
I
believe
think
in
Yeah.
your heart.
So,
not
Buruk,
what's on the
specifically, the
outside.
line is trying to kill you.
No, it's not what's on the outside that matters. It's what's on the inside. You're worshipping a dragon.
so
No
Like,
mercy.
yeah, there's this one body that sort of they realise that it's actually alive thanks to Will's concerns, and they're just like, all right, and then just take them off back into the chamber that they were released from, ready for a future arena bout, potentially
I
some
imagine
recuperation.
that Lila is it Lila or Lila?
Lila.
Yeah, Lila actually is.
Actually, I think it was Lila. No.
I don't know.
It's actually Lola.
Lola.
So I'm sure that she is familiar with the way that Will fights at this point. When it's
Mhm.
like a dragon, a monster, yeah, she'll fight it. But when it's people-ish, she'll
Ish
try and
people.
spare 'em.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that one is taken away. The other bodies, the definitely dead bodies, are all just thrown into that central blender. And just
Is there any dragon chunks that Ravenous can pick up?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was chunks flying free out of the blender as they got
Yeah.
sliced. There's no lid.
Ravenous has a waste not want not mentality, so she's gonna go just picking up these little chunks of dragon, just strewn around for later consumption when she
Yeah.
jerkies them.
Oh.
Oh,
Nice.
the stabbing of Burke.
Nice.
So you got the now that Ravenous has a bag of holding. Actually, it's
Mhm.
quite well adept to gathering bloody chunks of dragon meat. So yeah, you're able to gather a few pretty decent sized ones. There's enough jerky you reckon you could make out of that would last you for weeks.
Nice.
So
Quick
yeah,
sense check.
Mhm.
Yep. Did Buruk has identified that it was poison breath and all that things about
Yeah.
the Green Dragon?
yeah. I think you're able to
As
determine that.
Ravenous does that, Buruk would just go, Ravenous, that dragon was breathing poison. Are you sure you want to eat that?
Ravenous just literally lifts her amulet out of her thing, goes, I'm fine.
That's fine.
I'm totally fine.
Just Batman style.
Really?
So now she
Well-
has personal meat, effectively.
Well, yeah,
remind
Buruk
me
wasn't
not to
there.
Take any jerky from you.
Don't worry, I put everything in different bags and I labeled them with really bad writing.
It
So
does
if we
not
ever-
seem
if
one
we
bit
ever
more
meet-
convinced.
If we ever meet a frenemy, they're gonna get the dragon jerky.
The dragon jerky.
Cool. So you troop your way out. It sounded like Will had something in mind.
Yeah. So Nanto comes along. Is that right?
Lyra.
100%.
I think you'll get to assume the whole party's with you.
Except me, I have to go off with Dora.
Oh yeah.
I mean, okay. Will isn't gonna stay and soak up the curing. I was under the impression that at least Baruch is gonna do a victory lap. Ravenous is gathering dragon parts.
Baruch's not the victory lap type of dude. He's very
But
humble.
I do take a minute or two of just enjoying the
Aww.
He
Bacon
deserves it, man. Come on, let the
Played a
guy
dragon.
have his victory lap. Yeah.
Okay. So while Burke's circling around the blender, celebrating his victory, Will, Nanto, and Lyroon are trooping their way out the eastern exit. With Will seeming a little less than optimistic at this moment.
Yeah, she kind of takes off her helmet. Ow. just waits to be out of sight of the crowd. That's I speak English. Waits to be out of sight of the crowd. Leans against the wall. Goes ahead and gives herself some lay on hands. It's better. Turns to face Lyroon and Nanto. What can I say? And she's obviously very disappointed. Blood spattered everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, there's like she has a red cloak for a reason, but once her helmet is off, it's kind of hard to hide it, you know?
Yeah, that breath attack, it left blood pouring out your nose, your ears, your eyes. It took its toll.
And she doesn't seem too concerned about it. Like, she's not the kind of lady who's gonna be like, oh, oh no, or but she is upset, and she's looking at these two guys a little bit ashamed.
Oh, well,
Why
that's not the face of a victor. What's going on in that little head of yours?
Nanto takes another step towards him. I shouldn't have gone into the arena with you guys. I guess I'm not
Oh,
trained
sorry.
up for it yet. You
What?
shouldn't have gone down in there.
I went down. Where?
Yeah, she's gonna tap him on his chest. You got cogs spilt all over the arena, dude.
Oh, did I? And he's just gonna look down and honestly just, oh, that's supposed to be on the inside, isn't it?
Oh, I'm
yeah,
so
I think it
embarrassed.
is. And I
Well,
look
that-
at Lyroon to try and gauge his reaction to all this.
It's trying to be comforting. Uh, you are just as amazing as all of us. I mean, I wasn't the best out either. I spent a good while in the pit myself, lucky enough not
You
to.
only saved my bacon. Got tossed in by chance, got yourself out, and then came out swinging. No, you ain't got nothing to be worried about. And she's gonna give him a punch on the shoulder, but it's lacking the usual strength, right? Will got very hurt.
Well, I still think we did a fantastic job. And plus, you put most of it back on the inside. I'm gonna need that intact if I'm gonna go home again, so thank you very much. I'll promise I will not have that happen again. In fact, they were a very bad host for that party.
Well,
I do my
Lyroon
best.
Lyroon did all the putting back, but hey, maybe if there's some dents that need fixing, I might be able to lend you a hand. Not a lay on hands, but a blacksmithing type thing.
Oh, well, I did visit the local blacksmith, but he was quite unfamiliar. I would love to have another hand.
Sure.
Literally a new hand.
Yeah, his hand is like off, like, oh, that's missing.
Hanging,
Flopping by
like, a
wires.
tiny bit.
Oh, that's missing. Just a nub.
Yeah, I've got all the tools that we'll need back in my place. Actually, the owners used to be blacksmiths themselves, so plenty of gear.
Oh, lovely. Well, that is a very generous offer.
At least I could do after that sorry performance. Man, did you guys see Brooke though? That was awesome. Where is he? Is he still having victory laps?
Oh,
I
he's-
think roughly at this point you would see him entering the place, but he's still out of earshot.
Brooke! That was
Yep.
amazing!
With those ears? Mm.
Just I mean, you are amazing as well. That is a dragon well slain.
Oh, please. Don't give me that crap. And she's a little bit annoyed at the compliment. Because all her reactions have to be wrong. I don't need
Come
your
on.
pretty praise.
Everything has to be wrong.
Yeah, I don't need
Everything
your pretty
fine?
praise. You kicked its tail.
Oh
You
no,
were
its
amazing.
tail was quite severed. No kicking occurred on that tail.
Well, it was something.
I mean, what sort of pity praise is having a dragon in a headlock? Come on,
wait.
Will.
Wait.
We all
Alexa.
saw that.
Stop.
Nanto, who was unconscious at the time, is just kind of like, wait, is that what happened? Just like surprised.
Right, Nanto. We brought you here to sing a songs of our wondrous battle, and you clocked out at the most important time.
I mean,
Come on,
it's
that's
you
no
can't
way for
blame
a
the kid.
musician.
He looks genuinely like his eyes kind of get that
No.
sad crescent and just, oh, I'm so sorry about that. I
No,
can't believe
hey,
I
hey,
fell
hey.
asleep at the worst time. The climax of the story.
I would like to
Oh,
reach
don't
out
worry,
and
we'll
tug
kill
your
another
hat.
one.
You
Shake
pat my
it a little
head.
bit. Yeah, I tug your hat and I shake it, and I'm like, hey, it wasn't your fault.
So what was that,
Going to have to
Burrick?
tell-
Sorry?
What was that, Burrick?
Oh, don't worry, we'll kill another one soon enough. Right, Will? I take it it's not your first one, and surely won't be your last.
No,
TB.
last dragon will be the one that eats me.
Sounds like a plan.
That's Not if I can help it, but
No, no,
Not if we can help it.
well, I didn't figure you guys would want me. And she kind of is surprised and a little bit confused as she looks around at everybody. Wipes some blood off her face. I didn't think you guys would want to go into another arena with me after that.
Nanto, I would like to prestidigitation and actually clean the blood off her face.
Oh, that's
So it's a sort of vaporization of blood. So it sort of peels off and vaporizes into the air in a clean way from right to left. It's almost like a scanner, but reverse, like just the blood peeling off.
That smells like burnt hair, but thanks.
And now that looks like the face of a victor.
If you guys are sure.
Absolutely sure. Regardless
120%.
regardless of how well you feel like you fought in there, if we wouldn't have had you, we would have all died, for sure.
You'd been better off with Hela. I'm just...
I'm a Thunder Gloves. It's all about those.
I'm usually more helpful.
Well, then you'll just have to make up for it next time, because there will be a next time.
Sure. Thanks, you guys. You're
Now,
crazy,
come on.
but thanks.
I have a splendid idea, an inspiration, if you will. There is a drink I am dreaming of in my fey dreams, and I would like to make them a reality for you.
Yeah? Maybe while we're working on patching up, actually, all our armor. And he looks around. Well, our armor. And she gives Lyroon a judging look.
Lyroon gives you a shrug like, that's why I'm not wearing armor. It's great.
For one, Bodok's armor doesn't seem to be in shreds.
Not in shreds, no. Yeah.
No, it's just a singular trio of gashes for it. So while you're
Drinks
having
sound good. Yeah.
so while you're having that discussion outside, Ravenous,
F.
you've been left inside the arena. There's a certain fan who's been screaming a touch louder than all the others, and actually ran to the very front as soon as he won. And he's just like, he's on the barrier, like his hands over the edge, like just screaming wildly. Dorif, he is wild for your achievement. What do you do?
Hey, Dorif. How you doing? Did you enjoy the show?
Oh, it was amazing! Did you see that, Brett? And you just took it. Your arms folded. You didn't even blink. And he's just ecstatic, overwhelmed, oversensitized in every sense.
Tell him like, oh well, you know, I know I was pretty good, but don't forget the other fighters. They did their part and they did well.
But none of them took the breath like ravenous, ravenous, and he just starts like trying to start a chant. And there's about, hang on, let me just check.
It's like everybody like, oh god, that's so embarrassing.
And let's see if anyone joins in.
Let's just go.
No one joins
Digging
in.
the music.
Yeah, not a single person joins in. So he just starts like pumping.
What? Hold on. Not one?
Yeah,
Excuse me?
he nat
They're
one.
alive.
He got a nat one on the performance
Oh.
check. So he's like starts pumping his fist like ravenous, ravenous, and like the rest of the crowd is still crying for Burke, and he's just drowned out. But like he doesn't care. His eyes and his senses are all for this lady who's promised him a date, and
Great date.
it's going to be the best date.
A friend date.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he knows this, but it's a friend date.
You can say,
What is a friend date?
In the-
I've never been on one of those.
in the words
A
of
friend
Matt,
date is where you literally just hang out with a friend.
in the words of Matt Mercer, you can certainly try.
I do have
Oh
a
my
love
God.
potion. Right, I'm just turning the fan off. Yeah, I do have a love potion after all.
I mean, that's the opposite of the effect you're trying to
I
go
know,
for.
I'm
But so
She will need to drink it.
Yeah, you could drink it and then fall in love with him.
Oh,
So
Just to make it a bit more bearable.
so how are you playing as Ravenous? We'll expedite with rolls.
So he's being quite embarrassing and being like Ravenous, and I'm just like, oh god, this isn't the place or the time. We're taking away glory from other people. Okay, so she just literally like walks up the wall, grabs him, and
Kisses
then
him.
starts. No! And then
Just
like
totally smooches him right on the lips.
Ravishes
It
is
would
him.
keep him quiet. It's a great idea.
she just starts dragging me towards the exit. Like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, she got the word, no name Ravenous for a reason. So she grabs him and starts dragging him away. He doesn't put up any resistance. Yeah, he just
Her name is Ravenous, not Thirsty. Okay.
just grabs him and just bearing him down. And this is like a weedy servant. He's not putting up any resistance. He's not any real weight for any kind of adventurer. You can easily carry him down, and he is just ecstatic. This is everything he wanted. He just got. Not only was he like cheering for his favorite combatant in the arena, but also he got singled out for favoritism and actually carried away. This is just his perfect day, and he's just been carried away. He's just waving toward his friends, and you carry him away towards the exit. Okay.
We'll leave it there because there's more people.
Okay, so you carry him away towards the exit. Well, I assume you're trying to fob him off.
The idea is that we're Ravenous in her head has the idea that maybe potentially somehow maybe he knows where Flashheart and his crew may have gone.
No, he would have told you. Yeah, I mean, you can try and interrogate him for that information. So you carry him off. Meanwhile, the rest of the crew, it sounded like you wanted to go for a drink. Was that right?
I actually would like to get Nanto to try and make that drink at Will's house. So I would like to go to Will's house, check on Nanto, try and patch him up a teensy bit. But we need to make sure that Ravenous knows where we're going.
Well, this is my thought now. So Ravenous bumps into you guys on the way out, and you're all going and hanging out at Will's house. And hey, I have to have a heck lot of booze that I picked up from that bag of holding.
I'm listening.
Why don't we all go and hang out? This group of arena fighters, Dorif. Like, we get to meet so many celebrities, and we all go hang out at Will's together as a group.
I'd like to loom over Dorith. Who are you? And this might be the first time he's seen Will without her helmet. I don't know if he knows who it is. I mean, there's blood spattered armor, but
she's
I mean,
real
he's
pretty.
a big arena fan, but you don't really take off your helmet during the fights,
No.
right? So yeah, he would recognize the armor, and you'd see your face, but you would see the expression on your face, and you'd be like, "Okay, let's to your house," and he just seems happy to be brought along. It's kind of like as
Who
if
are
someone's
you?
brought. It's
I fobbed him off with
Yeah.
a group event.
and like at that like, who are you? He just looks to Ravenous, and there's this like panic in his eyes.
And
Who
I
is
just
he?
Go, don't worry about it. This is Dorif. Dorif was very kind to Howler and I. Just before we had to scope out Flashheart's house. We owe him a lot.
Dorith. I will reach out and clamp a bloody gauntlet on his shoulder, shake him. Nice to meet you. Come on.
Oh, and he just
Then these genuine half-hearted smile.
he just seems happy, like he's with you guys, he's with his heroes, and one of them's like grasping his shoulders. Oh, go to Will's house, and he's just like coming along with you and just ecstatic, following along.
I just imagine him being the surprised Pikachu face right now.
I don't know how to roll hit dice with Beyond.
We'll get to it afterwards, don't worry.
Okay.
It depends how much the hit dice are.
I don't know if there's a. I don't want
It's
to
alright.
distract the game. It's fine.
It's alright.
But I don't know
We'll
how to
work
do
it out in
that.
post.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you make your way back to Will's place. Will, we talked a little bit about your place. It's the upper story of the middle of this picture.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So as we're walking,
You have a
Will's gonna be
spire.
asking Nanto a few questions about well, do you feel pain if somebody fixes, and she puts a finger against a bigger gash in his steel outer shell.
Doesn't wait
she's-
for the response of whether he feels pain or not.
Yeah,
just
she's
goes
basically
straight.
trying to. Will is basically just trying to figure out if fixing Nanto, working on him, will be painful. I don't know.
He just kind of shrugs and just, I know everything feels smoother when everything's all fixed up.
Uh-huh. Alright, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
there's certainly no visible pain from your touch.
Wonderful. Puts on her helmet while we're walking around. Doesn't bother with the blood. If Nanto uses prestidigitation, cool. But otherwise, she's just rocking around Daggerford, showered in a mix of Lyroon, Will, Nanto oil, and dragon green ooze. Totally nonchalant about it. We'll give a wave to people we pass by. Very interested in the alcohol that Ravenous spoke about.
I need to check how much I have.
She does, yes. She does more than once. Buruk. 7. The DM held up.
Yeah, you got
Oh,
7
yeah,
bottles of
pretty fast.
wine.
And I do still have over half of a nitro whiskey.
Yeah.
I also have a fine wine that we got from a noble.
Yeah.
I need to
You got
ask
plenty of
Ravenous
booze.
about that later. And she does more than once talk to Buruk about that was really awesome. You are way stronger than you look. That's a good thing.
I mean, she does
That's a
seem to be
backhanded
completely
compliment.
chuffed about it, but no, she does take it as a genuine compliment.
It is, and it's all she's
Yeah.
extremely straightforward and blunt and honest. And it's not a very long walk from the arena, I would think, right? Because that's kind of the point.
Daggerford's not a big place. It's 10 minutes to a radius.
Oh, hey,
When picking a
don't-
place to live, there's no way Will would not pick one near arena.
Exactly.
Yep.
Hey, don't freak out the people that own this place, huh? No, Baruch, you might recognize him.
Really?
She
How
doesn't
come?
explain and knocks on the door. I mean, she has a key, but she's gonna knock.
Okay. So the door opens, and you do indeed.
Hey!
It's a slightly familiar face for Burr. It's like what kind of looks like the blacksmith of Daggerford, but a more slightly melted, a bit older. There's a certain grey beard, and there's a lot of wrinkles to his face. You'd be able to safely conclude this is the parents' place of the blacksmith.
Aww.
Freebies.
And inside, you can see there are indeed the various accoutrements of blacksmith gear. And there's a staircase leading upwards. And you can see there's this older looking gentleman. He's got his shoulders slightly hunched, as if he's used to carrying just extreme weights on his shoulders. Oh, you're
Want
back.
another arena match? Don't know if you've got work to do, but I'm gonna need to use some of these tools here. If there's any projects hanging around, I'll get to them later.
And he just looks over the bedraggled state of your armor and various armors, well, particularly of the armor of Burke and the punctured holes of Nanto. He's like,
Yeah, can you believe it? Dragon.
My
another.
favorite.
And he just in an almost exasperated tone is, another will.
They just keep coming,
Where did they
Come
get
on,
him?
guys.
He's just a shake of the head, where did they get him? Come on.
I don't know, but I sure do hope they keep coming. On the one hand, I hope they grow up fast so that I can, fight them and stuff. But on the other, you really don't want any more dragons. And she's kind of musing to herself as she heads in the door, up the stairs. Come on, it's not a huge space, but I'm pretty sure it'll fit all of us. Oh, I just
Joy.
realized. Okay, can I
Uh-uh.
describe the room?
Okay.
I just realized, Sam. So we get up these stairs. Walking in, Will is just gonna drop her warhammer, lazily leave the shield on a stand. Just sit down anywhere, I guess. It's a dump, so like the house is really nice, but Will does not clean up after herself. There is oily rags, smithing tools all over the place.
Aw.
There's like, just commoner's clothes here and there. It's obviously basically
Lifting.
like a gym locker room where it's mainly for dealing with armor and bandaging herself up and all that stuff. A few empty bottles. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that one.
But there's
Oh
a
no.
really big, really fancy,
Oh.
really expensive bed in this room. And it's like the
Like-
only piece of expensive furniture. Everything else is just the way it was when she rented it.
Like a four-corner bed with like
With like the
curtains
posts and the draping
posts.
Yeah,
cloth and
and
everything.
you're looking at it, and the mattress is at least twice as thick as any other mattress you have ever seen in all your days, even Lyroon in his many, many days. This is the most ludicrous, noble, overly worked mattress and bed that you've ever seen. The rest of the room,
Ravenous
Oh, sorry,
literally
go
will walk in. The first thing that Ravenous is going to do is see the bed, and it's the most illustrious bed she's ever seen in her life. And she can't help herself. And she goes, "Oh my god!" And she just runs and does a leaping fly jump and just swooshes on the bed face first, like, "This is amazing!"
and you bounce a full 2 inches into the air when you launch onto it, like, boing, and don't quite reach the wall because it's so massive as well. But yeah, this is ridiculous by any of your standards.
Oh my heavens! Well, that is a bed befitting a queen.
And she's gonna finally clock on and look very embarrassed. Yeah, don't. I mean, Ravenous, that looks like fun.
Looks like fun.
Insight
Yeah.
check. What is she nervous about?
Go for it. Deception will.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to
Her
you.
bed is actually a mimic.
No, but you're trying to play off it's just fun.
No, it's not a couch. Couches are mimics.
Okay.
Only couches
are
Alright,
mimics.
Iron Movie rule.
She's obviously embarrassed about having this extremely decadent bed. Like, this bed cost as much as her armor, maybe, looking
My
at it.
goodness.
You know? Like, it's
Yeah.
absurd.
Yeah. So at the very least, everything else in this room is worth less than this bed.
Like
Oh.
a line.
Oh, by a lot. Like,
By a
most of the furniture that was in here is just. It's the same furniture. She wouldn't have changed anything. Like, she got an armor stand in for the armor, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Everything else is just 50-year-old pieces of whatever furniture.
Also, just a quick question. After Will got rescued, did she even get a moment to return to her house?
Mhm.
Or is this the first time after the month?
No. You went to the pub and then she went back to her place after the pub
Yeah.
the previous night. So yeah, she's been back once.
That's fair. So it's not a complete surprise for the owners of the house that she's back and happy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I let moms and pops know where I was. But yeah, no, she's just really embarrassed about the stupid bed. I completely forgot, I kid you not. So I guess Will forgot too. You know what? You guys get comfortable. I'm gonna go take off my armor and, wash off the blood or something. Panically leaves the room.
After Will
Not to-
leaves, Lyroon starts cleaning up the place, getting rid of empty
Oh my
bottles.
gosh!
Just being a
Well,
parent.
As Will is leaving, is kind of like, oh, I can help clean. Oh, okay.
Nope, gonna take a shower.
Nanto just over the next hour, Nanto uses prestidigitation to just clean the room.
So he's offering to clean Will up, but yeah, she seems to want to just get out of there. Ravenous, what are you, Ravenous and Burke, what are you guys doing?
I mean, I'm still jumping on the bed. Not gonna
You're
lie.
just jumping on the bed.
I'm just rolling around in the sheets like, this is so comfy.
The best bed ever.
Yeah. Hang on, I can't. You'll have to
I
take a
see
photo
art.
and post that.
I will.
can't
It's
see
just
it.
a dirty little sketch at the moment. I'll get to it.
Alright.
Okay.
Burke.
I think Buruk wouldn't be necessarily helping with the cleaning, but at the very least, he would be looking around with curiosity. You know, a bed is one thing, it's a bit of a strange taste, but fine. But there seem to be blacksmithing tools and the like strewn about as well?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
There's tons of tools all over the place. Like there's an armor stand, there's a weapon rack, there's a few, sort of like spare javelins sort of thing laying around.
Yeah.
And
Oh, Baruch
the-
doesn't need javelins. He has plenty.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the sorry, my puppy's trying to eat the wires of the computer. That's not good.
No, puppy.
So
Electricity is
you'd
bad for you.
very quickly, like looking around this room, you would understand why Will hasn't had much cause to visit the blacksmith at Daggerford, because she basically lives at a blacksmith's place, and she's got all the equipment she needs to maintain her Grammy's armor right here.
Makes sense.
Granny.
There's,
Cute.
there's a chest of drawers. There's a cupboard. It's all very, very mundane stuff. There is a toolbox. It's just not being used.
Buruk would definitely peek into that and just generally, look for any interesting weapons, armor, just more out of curiosity to see what else would she be carrying. Not exactly, going through the drawers and such, but the way a polite guest might be snooping around your place.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, just normal sort of paladin stuff. There's
Yeah,
a
fair
holy
enough.
symbol hanging somewhere, like that kind of crap.
Aha, is that one at least somewhat maintained?
Yes, that one is in very good condition.
Would Buruk know anything of that sign? So does it match the one on your shield, and would he have seen it anywhere else?
It is the same one on her shield.
Yep.
I don't know, DM, are you happy with a religion check? Oh, he just took his. Yeah, so then
Oh.
I'm the DM now. Religion check.
You are the DM. Look at me. I am the DM now.
So 13, and I remember when I was looking for the shield insignia, it wasn't much better than that. I'm assuming it's just as much of a mystery as it used to be.
Let me just describe it as
Yep.
I find it. So on her shield, on her cloak, is a wreath of ivy leaves. Lyroon knows what that's about.
Yes.
But the actual holy symbol is a pine cone.
Pine cone.
It is a very big, like, old pine cone that is hollowed out.
Wait, what?
Interesting.
Marvelous.
I require a visual representation. Go.
I have ancient Greek art if you want.
All right, so
Go
it looks
for it.
kind of like.
Yeah.
Here, let me try to make with my hands. So it looks kind of. Let me get a shadow puppet going.
Will, if you don't have a real model that you've carved out of your own pie cone, are you really
Are you
paladin?
really
Are you even playing D&D if you don't have a life-size replica of that?
So
Do
for
you
the
even
people-
faith?
For the people that are not on Discord, this is the image I'm sharing is one of the god Dionysus, or in Greek Dionysos, who is carrying a pine cone staff. So it's basically like a really big, round, hard wood-like pine cone, and Will's one would be, like silvered and hollowed out, so it can be used as a tankard.
Hey. I
That
get you.
that neck though.
That neck though. Ravenous is gonna start looking around to see if there's any. Obviously, the pine cone is yours, but she's gonna start looking around for various receptacles that could be filled with liquid.
There's empty bottles. There's a tankard here or there. There's definitely if Will's room can accomplish anything, it would be drinking.
Fair enough. So Ravenous is gonna start pouring her. She's gonna go wine or whiskey, and that's a question to the room. including Dorif, DM.
Nanto will reply, yes.
Yes. A mix for Nanta.
Whiskey.
Whiskey.
I'm just going to go for whatever Nanto wants to make up.
So
Assuming
that's another mix. Okay, so
Yeah.
mix for Bora. Mix mix for Nanta. So
Oh,
she starts
gonna
like
go
pouring
so
these
well.
in. It's so gonna be like the whole place is gonna be on fire because this stuff makes you like blow out fire.
It was going to taste so good.
You can't taste. You're fine.
And Dorothy's just like, oh, whatever, it's good enough for you, Ravenous. It's more than good enough for me.
Pours a little, a very small whiskey because she looks at Dorif and she's like, okay, you can't handle your booze like I can. So she pours a little single measure of the whiskey, and then hands over the mixture of whiskey and wine to Baruch, hands over the mixture of whiskey and wine to Nanto, hands over, Lyrin, you were a whiskey, yes?
Yes.
Hands over the double pour of whiskey to Lyrin. Will, what are you having?
Am I back?
Will.
DM, she's just gonna, yeah.
Will, what are you having?
I'm coming. She's just
Will, booze.
I think that with the giant bed, there's not really room in the room to like get changed privately. So she's gonna
Nope.
go down. She's gonna have a quick chat with moms and pops that she's renting this place from. And she's gonna just go to a spot, close herself in a room, take off the armor, make sure that she's got her arming doublet on before she comes back upstairs. Yeah, what? She's still fairly bloody. She's like feigned effort to wash off some of the blood, but it's pretty much all still there.
Yeah, so
But
is it?
she's
And in that time, everyone who's had whiskey has had time to drink some, so she walks back into 3 or 4 people just like firing out.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a while to take off the plate armor, and
Okay.
even a knight needs like a squire usually to get them off quickly. So you got a good few minutes.
Okay. So
Um,
Ravenous just pours a hefty measure of whiskey for Will into the pine
girl.
cone, thinking, this looks interesting. I feel like this is Will's. So she pours it up to the top and just lays it on the side
okay.
for when
Well,
she gets
that'll
back.
be interesting for sure.
it's just a copious beverage waiting for. In the meanwhile, yeah, is this sort of wine whiskey mixtures? Is this the nitro you're mixing?
Nitro. It's the only whiskey I have, so nitro.
Okay,
mixed
all right.
with wine.
So everyone
You
who
asked
has
for it.
everyone who has the nitro, give me a con save.
All right.
Even
Nanto-
mixed,
Nanto has it, but he can't drink it, so he's just
Just-
holding it to be polite.
just splashed it across his face.
Oh no, he just holds it all. He doesn't
splashes
even
it into
try.
his face, and the eyes glare a little bit heavier.
And
He's
for
just
once,
sitting there like just holding.
just pretending to take a sip, like bringing it to where the mouth would be, and then going, ah.
yeah. So Ravenous, give me that con save.
Okay, doing it. Hold on a second.
So Burrock.
You need to do one for Dorif as well, by the way.
Oh yeah, good point. So Burke slugs it back, and it's an appreciably reasonably nicely warm sensation that spreads down your throat. And then there's this almost like bubbling sensation that boils up from your belly and starts rushing up, and you can feel this uncontrollable belch of flame. It's 10 feet in length. And it is bright electric blue as it rockets out from your mouth, and it actually scorches the ceiling of Will's apartment. It's just,
It's a small room.
yeah, it's
Oh, no.
it's just the upstairs. It's not enough to set it on fire, but it's certainly enough to leave a black and charred mass on the ceiling. Ravenous.
I actually got a 20. It's my first.
You actually
20
got your
of the
nat
game.
20. So Ravenous is the exact same sensation. It's just that boiling warmth, but
Oh,
you
by the
don't
way,
feel.
just to clarify, I took off, because I've worked it out now, I took off my amulet to be able to feel
Oh,
the
yeah,
sensation.
so you would be able to feel some drunkenness if you had nat 20 to your con save. So, and again, you feel that rocketing 10-foot belch of flame come out of your mouth, and yeah, it just stains the ceiling black. Lyroon, It's much the same. You can feel this
Will.
roaring flames of blue belching out of your mouth, but you don't quite have the same control that Burke and Ravenous. It's more like just this uncontrolled like spewing of flame. And it's just roaring outwards, and you feel there's a distinct sway to you afterwards. It's not enough yet, actually, to confer any kind of disadvantage to the rest of your day. But if you feel if you had one more of those, you'd be at some kind of disadvantage.
And Lyroon will not have another one of those.
But suffice it to say, there are 3 scorched blue flames. Actually, 2 scorched blue flames on Will's ceiling. One, Ravenous's, she's able to actually, because of the nat 20, she's able to contain it enough that it's just a scorched flame out in front of her, and she's just more impressive.
I kind of was hoping that I could almost use it to draw a picture in ash across the ceiling saying, Will rocks, with an X.
That's a lot.
Cool.
You've got about a second of flame belch. You can manage one letter, so you could do an R for Ravenous or a W for Will.
Oh, I'm gonna do an R for Ravenous.
Okay,
Ravenous
so yeah,
was ear.
Yeah, so
You're in trouble.
you can manage an R like roughly scorched into the ceiling with your carefully controlled nat 20 belch. That is.
Ravenous. Oh, sorry, I was gonna ask Nanto. Any chance you can clean this up?
Nanto would just clap me like, oh, property damage. Yet another display of friendship.
Perfect.
Of course I can. Bibbidi boo. And I'm going to try and press to digitate the ash away.
Okay, you actually have ample time to, because it takes a hell of a long time to take off plate armor.
Yeah.
So by the time Will troops into the room,
Everything looks great.
the ceiling looks fine. She can smell it though. She can smell. There's a scent. It's not quite sulfur, but there's certainly this scent of burnt wood hanging in the air and burnt alchemical chemicals from various belching nitro flames. You know there's been some
Will
mischief.
doesn't care. She looks around. She sees no property damage. The mess is still...
Gonna say.
There is damage. What has Lyroon done?
Clean. Various bottles away. Some sort of, I don't know, trash receptacle if found.
It's not.
Yeah, damage in a very different sense.
The various oil rags into a neat pile, folded.
Oh no! How
Oh
dare
my god.
You folded.
My organized chaos. How
20 psychic
Exactly.
damage.
It walks in. I'm sorry, is there more?
Is there more, Daddy?
I'm trying to think of the other ways you described the mess.
The tools weren't in the box. Her
Oh,
clothes are
definitely
all
the
over.
tools in the box.
Yeah.
Like the clean laundry and the dirty laundry are just 2 piles. There's like an in and an out.
Yep.
Is there any sort of dresser for the clean laundry to go into?
There is. It's empty.
It's now in there.
The clean laundry is folded and put inside.
Perhaps of note, it's all men's clothes. Very intentionally.
That's
Oh.
fine.
He's also separated the dirty laundry into whites, darks, and colors.
No.
I don't know why. There's no detergent invented yet.
Exactly. The colors aren't gonna run.
I was making a bit, okay?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So the tools, laundry folded and put away, should be about it.
So
she walks in, and she's like, "Hey, you guys got the party started without." What did you do? She looks around at the room, and she's aghast. Well, and it's Will, very similar to how you found her in the dungeon, where she's dressed fairly simply. She's wearing,
I thought you meant in terms of stature. Sorry.
Oh.
Oh no, like
I thought you meant
not
like
in
she's
her
like-
armor.
I thought you
She
meant
tried
like
to
she
kill us
walked
all for
in,
the.
seen what the room was like, and like literally became like completely broken all over again.
No.
Hey, Will was never broken.
Yeah.
Okay, not broken, just very
No breaking my will.
help.
Oh.
Hey.
So there's this very visible reaction to the cleanliness state of Will's room. It
Who
almost,
did this?
Yeah, just anger.
Who do you expect?
Was it you?
Of course, your room was a mess.
You're just gonna reach out and try and like grab Lyroon from the back of the shirt. Fix it! No, I had everything where I needed. I'm not gonna find anything now.
Rabbit
Did you
runs
fold my
straight.
clothes?
Rabbit runs straight over to the drink she poured for Will and go, "Hey, Will, I poured you a drink."
In her holy symbol.
Yep.
How is
This is
Dara
like the
reacting
worst.
to all this?
Oh yeah, how is Dora reacting?
Dorothy is mostly. I mean, he's so utterly out of his element. He's amongst these towering heroes, and he's just watching, looking between this happening. Like he's mostly confused, watching Lyrene tidy up, but then trying really, really, really hard to join in on the fun as Ravenous is pouring out drinks. Come, have a drink! It's a celebration!
Oh.
Is it considered sacrilege or piety to drink from your holy symbol? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Piety
so-
at the moment.
So she's like, snatches up the cup. All right, well, you guys asked for this. Stick in the mud, Paladin. And she's like trying to play it off, but she lowers her armor and she raises her glass. Come, blessed Dionysos, various named, bull-faced, begot from thunder, Bacchus framed, Bacchus god, universal might, whose sword and blood and secret rage delight, in heaven rejoicing mad, loud sounding god, furious inspired, bearer of the rod, by gods revered, who dwellest with humankind. Come, with much rejoicing mind. And she drinks, and she drains the whole thing in one go.
I really had the urge to get a lighter out and just like swing it side to side.
Oh, I have one of those in my hand.
Give me a Constitution save, Will.
Okay. I am going to haggle for
Haggle.
advantage because I just evoked the god of drinking, but okay.
Oh, well there you go. It's done
Well-
deal.
Could say DM.
Blooming heck. You get your 19 on the Constitution save.
Mm.
We offer a helps action on that.
Don't
I'd
need
like to
it.
take a help action.
Is the help action for drinking just stealing some of their drink?
It's like just
No,
sticking a straw in, just like really furiously.
Furious sipping.
Just like
Uh,
get away, get rid of that drink.
So
Now,
is this,
that would be offensive to their god. Is to
So is this-
steal the drink of
That
someone.
is true, yeah.
there's
So-
this furious intent to Will's drinking. Almost like it's a challenge, not just to her ability, but also to her livelihoods. This is somewhat of who she is. And it slips down without problem.
Yeah.
Girl knows how to hold her liquor.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same. Sorry, good.
Sorry. Go on.
It's the same, nitro whiskey the rest of you are having. There's that uncontrollable belch of flame, but I say it's uncontrollable. Will comes as damn close as you can, really, is controlling it, and it's a controlled belch of flame that escapes from her lips. And while it's 10 feet, it is carefully aimed away from her bed. Clearly, that holds a lot of importance to her. Carefully aimed away from any of your faces. Clearly, those hold a lot of importance to her. And clearly aimed away from the
And-
ceiling.
and rats the guy Doris because he isn't that important.
No, he
No,
just takes it
Doris.
straight to the face. No, it's carefully aimed, and no
So-
one is at fault.
She kind of welcomes it. It's not quite controlled, but also I'm not sure she would want it to be. She didn't hurt anybody or her bed or ceiling, so that's good enough for Will. And she will just very reverently place the uh, hollowed out pine cone, silvered pine cone, back in its place. You guys are never invited to my place again.
Oh, well, we better enjoy it while we can.
Ravenous looks very, very upset by the whole situation. She's like, "I'm so sorry. What did I do? I thought you liked booze."
Yeah, I do. She pats Ravenous' shoulder. It's my holy symbol. Paladins, that crap is important to, well, some of us. The ones who actually care about their oaths. I may not look it, but my oath matters a lot to me.
Oh, I'm really sorry. I should learn more about you, and maybe I should have just asked permission before I did anything. I'm really sorry. Next time I'll make sure to check with you what's acceptable to put drinks into.
Sure, nothing to worry about. Claps you on the shoulder a little bit more heartily. Smiles.
Ravenous just goes, "Oh."
Just stumbles
Straight
about
up.
7 footsteps to the right and just
Yeah.
clatters into the wall, rebounds off it.
But you're right. I'm always up for a drink. Though this cup, a little bit more important. Be happy to tell you more about myself when we're not busy.
Oh, well, I do have to ask, what is your oath?
Ravenous senses a story's coming on and hands an entire bottle of the wine she has to
Ooh.
to Will.
I take the wine and I look at it and I'm like, you got ale, mead. Wine is kind of too snooty for me.
And specifically, the wine she's handing you is a fine bottle of wine. This is actually worth 15 gold pieces.
Damn.
I actually don't have anything else.
She only has fine wine because of what was in the bag of holding.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not one to turn down booze, so don't you worry about it. And I will uncork it. I will drink it, thankfully. It's just it's noble stuff, Anyway, you guys don't really want to know my oath, do you? I mean, it's not a secret, but I'm sure we got more interesting stuff to talk about.
I would love to hear more about what you've dedicated yourself to. Would make a great story,
If you're sure.
If you're going to be fighting further with us and being our friend, I think we need to know, what you're about, so we don't hurt you.
Like I said, it's not a secret.
It's just curiosity, really.
And if it's something you feel strongly about, please, I implore you to share it.
Oh, I do, and that's the first time she'll kind of interrupt Nantil. Oath, I wouldn't break it for anything. Meanwhile, there's also some guy here, but Will doesn't mind.
Yeah, throughout this, Dorif is just like looking between this conversation. He's like, his mouth is hanging open. He doesn't dare interject. He's amongst heroes.
Game of Thrones for him.
Yeah, like this is being in Game of Thrones for him. He's like, just his mouth is open. He's amongst heroes, and he's just, I can't quite believe I'm here. He doesn't dare interject.
Well, if I'm gonna bore you guys with this stick in the mud paladin stuff, at least let me work on fixing you up, Nanto.
Oh, please do.
So she will get her tools out, and she will turn around and say, "Where the sticks are my tools?"
They're in the toolbox.
Why would you put them there? It makes it further away.
Why'd you put tools in a toolbox?
Yeah.
How dare?
How dare you
Well,
put
then
something
it's
where
tools
it's meant to be?
Yeah, she then gets her tools out. She'll sit Nanto down, offer him a spot. She's wearing clothing that is not complimentary at all. Every time I speak, the puppy runs away.
Oh no!
He knows! He knows! But she will start working on Nanto. She will just, at first, a little bit worried, just a little bit tentatively, like, I'm bending his skin, but...
He has literally no reactions and is just kind of like blankly Like, even if you bend something, he'll just kind of, like, blink at you a few times.
Okay, so long as Nanto's okay, she'll keep going, and then she'll, like, really hammer away. She will
Slap him around a bit.
smile to herself. Oath? Never bend will. Won't bend knee to any king, mortal, deity. None are deserving of subservience from me or to me. I keep that by standing tall. Protect those weak of will. I'm strong. And it's the job of the strong to defend the ones that can't defend themselves. Against anyone that would abuse the strength that they possess. I measure others to their will. I don't judge somebody by the actions of their past, only what they choose to do in their present. While we're capable of great mistakes, Kink slashes the armor slightly, grabs a hammer. It takes an incredible force of will to try and repair those mistakes.
Force of will, just saying.
Hey.
So I look at what someone is making of themselves now, rather than glorifying or condemning somebody for their past deeds or misdeeds. And finally, respect isn't inherited, it's earned. And you guys had heard Will say that once before. Actions speak louder than words. No one should get respect only on their word, the word of others, through their actions. Be a living manifestation of what will earn respect. Because words are meaningless when the willingness to act is what will really fix everything. She starts to brush off Nanto's armor, make sure that all the kinks are put together, fairly polished. I've taken the oath of will.
That's pretty cool.
Told you it was
Saying.
boring. Pats Nanto on the back.
There's a brief clapping from Nanto.
I was gonna say, like, Ravenous is like, what do you mean that's not cool? That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. I didn't really take my oath the same way most paladins do.
What do you mean?
Truth is, I come from a family, a line of paladins, but they've all taken an oath that they call Oath of the Ancients. Wanted me to take that oath, and I didn't.
Never been to another's will, then I can see how you got those. I must say it's a good way of living for an adventurer. Perhaps less so for living under rule of Duchess and the others. But you seem to manage.
Well, then it's a pretty good thing that I'm not living for anybody else.
So it
Oh,
goes.
Kind of
What?
sounds like you're living for everybody but yourself. Your oath seems to mean that you serve others before your own.
She
So it
shrugs.
sounds to me like you're a very giving and your oath is very generous.
Yeah. Putting too much credit to me. I haven't done anything just by saying it. Acts that matter.
You've done plenty for us. You've been very courteous and you've cared for us all, even in the battle when Nanto went down. You cared a lot more than, a normal person would have. So
Oh, I should have been there to defend him. It was my mistake. And she's a little bit embarrassed, and she's happy that Ravenous is saying that, but she's like, no, I'm not. It's not
Take
like
the
that.
compliment!
No.
take the compliment, bitch. No. Alright, well, you've been great since you came here, and it's clear to me that you care a lot about us and you care a lot about others, and that's all that matters to me.
Thanks.
Little fist bump.
Big fist bump. boom.
Ravenous goes flying into the wall.
Roll for broken
That
Ravenous
is
knuckles.
like a full on
17
like
damage.
loop, and then like head like lands on the wall with her feet first, so she's just
Humbles
stuck there like
back.
doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, she
With
looks.
this up as a spider climb.
She looks to Baruch as was fairly quiet. Curiosity satisfied.
Very much so. You know, I'm not one much for gods, not one much for beliefs,
Can't
but
blame you.
doesn't sound like you are either. Not on the god side, at least. Well, if we don't count the, and he just points at the pine cone. But if I heard the titles right, the god you're praying to, he is also one for parties, isn't he?
I do love parties.
Well, actually, I'm pretty religious, but I've seen more than my fair share. Well, let me just say that it makes sense that you're not, and I can see why firsthand.
I see.
But yeah, yeah, you could say that he's fairly up for parties. Again-
How come the whiskey wasn't a suitable blessing then?
Oh no, that's fine. It's just it's my holy symbol, Baruch. If I was gonna drink out of it every time, there's ceremonies and stuff.
Oh, of course, but then again, as far as whiskey goes, doesn't get much better than this, it feels.
I'm quite happy with the
A
whiskey.
ceremony, you say?
Well, yeah, that's why I had to do the whole thing.
Well, a ceremony is just a party with other words.
A ceremony
right.
is just a fancy party.
There is a follower to the only sus in you yet, Nanto. How's that feel, by the way? Armor's okay?
Oh, I feel wonderful.
Do you feel like, it pokes you again?
Well, I can feel the vibration if it's strong enough, but
Well, that's good, because the dragon really tore into you.
everyone's saying that, and I don't remember a gosh darn little thing.
I mean, on the one hand, I guess that's good, but on the other hand, it's kind of too bad because you could totally tell a really great story.
I know, and I'm sorry. I missed the great throwing of the dragon.
No,
The great
no
throwing.
apologizing.
Says the person who has said sorry a million times.
Who?
Nanto, even though you were asleep for, when it happened, you are still a great performer, and we all saw it, and we can tell you our perspective, and you can still create an amazing ballad to show the efforts that we made, even
Yeah.
though you were unconscious.
And if
Sticks.
our story is not complete, well, we can always ask Dorif, I suppose.
Exactly.
definitely
He
saw
was
it
in the
all.
stands. What Brooke said. He had
Yeah.
a great vantage point of the whole thing. Isn't that right, Dorothy?
And he produces this scraggly scrap of paper. I have-
You take words.
I have
Curated the poem.
chronicled this moment. I mean, if you would make a song of it, Nancy, it would make the century, the decade, everything. Please, if you would mind.
Stars and moons! Oh, I would be honored in order to do something like this. Oh, it is always our dream to create a masterpiece.
And a masterful
Doris.
piece it would be. And he's like holding out, like his hand is actually shaking as he's holding out this like it's a scrappy
Aw.
piece of paper with like scrawling upon it. But yeah,
That's will daintily like.
perfect.
And definitely do a brief twirl before reading it.
and throw confetti in the air, of course.
Well,
He'll
he's
probably
doing that.
stumble a bit because 6 decks, so he'll probably like stumble and be like, "Whoa!"
Couldn't quite plant the feet there.
Jared, well,
Couldn't quite stick the landing.
Yeah, while Nanto's going over that, Will's just gonna take a seat next to Lyroon, elbow him lightly. And it's not got the same kind of feeling that it usually does because she's almost always in armor. But either way, elbows Lyroon lightly. And you? What do you think? Just quietly asking his opinion.
Oh God,
That's
out
what
of
he
character,
says.
I've been completely spaced out for a while, which is the problem.
Oh, she just means like with the plowing paladin sort of ode or hymn, whatever, to Dionysos and like saying her oaths and all that stuff.
I mean, it's very interesting to have to live for something else, to, have something, greater than you, to have your life in a creed. It's all very interesting. It's
What
not...
I'm hearing is, "Oh, that's adorable, tiny human," he says with a smile, and she doesn't sound offended at all.
Hey, move. You're not wrong. I do appreciate my freedom, being able
I knew
to
it.
go from point A to point B. I haven't been do what the wind tells me to do.
Doesn't that mean you worship the wind? Gotcha there, elf boy. Don't worry about it. Here, have another drink. And she lets him off the hook.
Lyroon does not drink the second drink. They're already tipsy.
Well, have some wine then. You did say that it was good for the celebration, right?
Oh, we have a long day after this. I prefer to be on the best, not behavior. Sure,
Don't worry,
sure.
I can give and I can take away. Leave it up to me. I'll sober you up in no time. Meanwhile, drink up.
Okay, fine. Lyron drinks.
Nice.
Okay.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Another round of drinks with everybody. Baruch, that means you too.
You know, we did talk yesterday. No drinking before battle, plenty after. And he knocks back another one.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
And Dorth also gets around. She's not excluding him. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
he-
know a lot about the guy, not a lot to like make conversation, but Will is obviously very comfortable just hanging out with this common dude.
yeah, I mean, you'd vaguely recognise him as a fan from the crowd. He's got his pencil moustache and he seems unusually enthusiastic. The rest of you, give me those of you who are drinking, give me con saves. It's basically you can have the amount of con saves up to your Constitution modifier, and be sober, so you can have a bit of cushion generally. So, drinking, you're celebrating the victory in the arena where you defeated this dragon. You've retired to Will's apartments in the upper story of this place.
Oh.
Above the blacksmiths, and yeah, you're ready to head on to the rest of the day. Yeah, you dealt with the first task of Harvest Close Festival, which was taking on the arena. This counts for the purposes of Ravenous's date as well. Certainly Dorif seems to be satisfied that he's gotten to hang out with not just Ravenous, but with all of the victorious adventurers who took on the dragon. So the next task that comes at midday, which is about an hour from now,
Which is just enough time for a short rest.
which is just enough time for a short rest, is meeting with the Crimson Cleavers contact outside the Guest and Mimic cart. So we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Lovely session, and we'll see how we get on next week. Yeah, it's a lot to happen yet to happen. Cool. Anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Cool. All right, I'll let you go. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Bye.
We got more backstory stuff.